All right, to Luke.
We are live. Okay. Yep, we're live.
Okay. Is that all the people in the meeting? Cause
Suppose.
yeah. Okay, it's November 12th at 6:31 p.m. This is a meeting of the Facilities Committee. And we'll start off with introductions. Luke?
My name is Luke Johnson, Network Administrator, Greenburgh Central School District.
John DeMero, Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Dean Sprock, Savin Engineers. Dennis Pugliese, Director of Facilities.
Michael Boyd, Director of Phys Ed and Athletics.
Tracy Maris, Board President.
David Warner, Board Member.
Jeff Copeland, alumni and district president.
Chris Fallon, Trustee.
Katie McGee, parent of an 11th grader.
All right.
And up on the screen, Michael,
Mike Messina, DBS Architects.
Carol, oh,
Carol Allen, community member.
Dr. Chisholm,
Dr. Lorinda Chisholm, Superintendent.
Jessica,
Good evening, Jessica Muldoon, parent of 2 in the district.
Judy.
Judy Basher, community member.
Anybody I missed? Hearing none, good. All right, so the first item on our agenda is soccer field enhancements. And we have Mike McCoy and Dennis Pugliese to talk about that. Do you want to look at pictures first, or do you want to?
We go to pictures.
All right. Look for pictures that start with the word soccer. And you can tell us what we're looking at. We're looking at the soccer field. This is the over where the tree is. That was a fence that we replaced several months ago. If you see in the picture, you can see a couple of garbage cans in the foreground on each side.
This is the view from the student parking lot.
Yeah, this is from like the edge of the student parking lot looking towards the field. Next. This is the the current condition of our field. The field is a grass field. It's used and trampled on for recess games.
So let's clarify, the beginning of the season did not look like this. This is after 3 months of play?
3 months of play and also,
Just to-
constant recess and
Right.
grass. Yeah, it's.
We started out with a pretty grassy field, if I
It
remember.
was in pretty good shape, and
Yeah.
use on the weekends for a while there, clubs showing up unauthorized, just people using the field. It's a grass field, and if it's overused, no
And we
matter what you
recently
do,
had
it's gonna
rainy
get,
season, yeah.
it's gonna get beat to death in the wear areas. All right, next. This is the backside of the soccer field looking towards the tennis court area. This is the goal, and you can see a piece of fence that's has a section of it been damaged. Now, do they use that hole when they take a shot at the goal? It goes over the fence, and so they need to get through the fence and get the ball.
Well, at the end of the fence.
No.
So there's a ball boy on each side that they are instructed to go around the other side, so they're not to go on through that net, through that hole.
Okay.
What was the, wait a minute, the kid said they have to catch it down the hill. They're going.
Well, there's another goal at the other end that
Okay.
has a hill
Oh, okay.
there.
You see behind that, you see behind
That's
over that
the
fence?
Wise Way side, and that's, you have an elevation on both sides, but that one's probably 40-something feet, I would imagine, on that side.
Why are kids climbing down 40 feet?
To retrieve the soccer ball.
During games, they have additional balls. They do not need to go down the hill to get, so let's be clear on all the facts. They go, when, after practices, when balls go over, I am hearing that they are sent to retrieve balls. I cannot say a witness.
Occasionally,
During games,
occasionally
there are
I'll go
extra
down there
balls.
myself and I'll see some that are down further in the area that,
Right.
you know, on one side or another. I just usually give them a good
So
launch
to
up
the-
onto the field to put them.
So
back
to the
into play
left
or
of
something.
this is the end of the fence and the path that the cross-country team runs on to go down the hill. There is a pathway, but then where the balls end up might be a different story.
There is a drop off down there and it gets kind of swampy as you get towards, to the right of the corners.
But there is a pathway down.
Correct.
But if they go over on the side.
To get the balls, right, where the
Yeah,
balls
yeah,
end up,
there's
you might
plenty
have to
of
go through that.
low fencing there. so
Right.
balls
Yeah.
are-
This looks like a sled in the practice football field, which is the baseball / soccer field. There's a view from the other side looking
Which is over there.
towards the athletic circle.
That's not really. that's not-
Another picture of the practice area. Another view from further away.
And we're on to the next other stuff, okay. All right, so those are the pictures I took. You think I left anything out that's pertinent?
I just, you know, to clarify a lot of things that have been said over the last year or so and addressed it, or was said in public at the board meeting last about unsafe. Once the soccer game begins, the officials are in charge. So there has, in my 9 years as athletic director, there has not been one game canceled because of safety. The officials are in charge of netting, they're in charge of, if the field is unsafe, to cancel the game. We had a game canceled this year at Mount Vernon because the soccer net was unsafe. So we meet the standard for the field. Is it the best? Absolutely not. The other thing is that we have to understand is that the turf field is not the football field. It's the soccer field. Every soccer game this year should have been at that field. That was gonna be, every home game should have been at that field. So this field was gonna be a extra field this year. Unfortunately, we didn't have the turf field already and the wear and tear.
So you think the wear and tear will be less when we have the turf field in action?
Did you say the turf field is a soccer field, not the football field?
It's a soccer field and a football field.
Multi-use.
Oh.
It's an artificial surface you're putting in there?
Yeah, we already put a turf field in there.
That's great. Because I can imagine maintaining this field is quite a few dollars just to keep it alive all year, right?
Correct. And we also have the weekends. I have to come up here on weekends to pick people up that are unauthorized to be here. You know, I'll check the cameras and there'll be a party in the student parking lot.
Cops can't do that?
I do a meeting called Greenburgh TV. To have them come up last few times. It died down, but then recently again, the last 2 weekends, same thing has happened. I've had coaches contact me and say, you know, we have people here that shouldn't be here, and that hurts also too, of course, on the field.
Do you want to look at the pictures of the field? Look at pictures that start with the word Eller.
1 second.
So we're in the midst of.
This is
go
That's
ahead.
great.
the D zones, the grassy areas behind the field, the track for some of
This
the
is-
track and field.
Facing the BF Jackson.
That
Opposite of the scoreboard.
opposite, correct. This is the a view of the field looking towards the sand pile, I believe. Towards the scoreboard, correct. The bleachers would be on your right hand side there, the home bleachers. Here's the turf field right now. Another view.
Let's just be clear while we're looking at these nice pictures, it's not permitted to play on these fields right now, for those of you getting excited.
It is still
Sorry,
considered a construction zone.
Sorry, I'm just gonna keep repeating
Until we
that,
finish
'cause-
the track surface in the
Right.
spring.
What is the track surface gonna be? Is it all weather surface? Okay.
Someone raised a hand.
Judy Bashar.
Yeah. Go ahead, Judy.
Sorry, forgot to unmute. I think they've done a great job with the field. My question is for the spring when they're gonna do this grand opening ribbon cutting thing. What is the intention for the rest of the surrounding area? For example, you've got the stands where the people sit there, you know, the old paint. There's the some debris all the way around the field and by the driveway. And are they going to pave the driveway or at least straighten out the potholes and everything there, maybe make a gravel driveway? So I'm wondering what the plans are for around the field for the future.
Yeah, right now they've actually they've added a bunch of stone and some item 4 and some millings to increase the roadway surface to eliminate some of the potholes. The roadway's in much better shape than it was before they started the construction.
Well, that's true. I just walked it maybe about 2 hours ago. But the rest of the field itself looks great. It's the surroundings. There's all kinds of piles of dirt. There's piles of like chopped up asphalt and stuff. And around in the back, they're using it as kind of as dumping ground for wood chips. So I'm just wondering if we're going to have this lovely field and, you know, have the dedication and everything. In my opinion, the rest, you know, the bleachers and all the other stuff should be done too. And I don't know if there's a plan for that.
They're still cleaning, we're in the process of cleaning up the grassy areas. A lot of the areas around the construction fencing, the grass hadn't been mowed for several months. There's piles of debris that we still have to remove. You mentioned the asphalt and the millings, some gravel, some sand or dirt piles that might be along the edges. They're still in the process of cleaning up and demobilizing.
Can we also just say that it's still an active construction zone? There is still work to be done both for that project and for the other projects. So because there are at least 2 projects going on back there, you will still see vehicles coming and going, getting materials. Yes, it's not a dumping ground, it's a storage ground for some of the materials. And hopefully by the ribbon cutting, everything will look nice.
What about the bleachers? Are you going to repaint those or are they just going to stay the way they are? Not the bleachers, that area that says Falcons and stuff behind the one on the left.
Yeah, the bleachers are aluminum on both sides.
Right.
There would be no painting of the bleachers.
But not the behind them, there's like a wooden thing that's green with, you know, I think it says Woodlands and Falcons on it. And that looks like it hasn't been painted in 100 years. I'm just curious if they're going to do that. Yeah, okay, there you go, like that. Behind the bleachers there.
The press box,
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about the home of the Falcons, Woodlands and Falcons. Will that be, and it looks good on the picture. In person, it doesn't look so great. So I'm just wondering if that's going to be repainted or what's the plan for those?
Those are screens. They're not painted on. Those are screens that are taken off in the winter. I left them on there just for this year, but they'll be taken down the next couple of weeks. But they can't be painted. Those we ordered those 6 years ago, I think now. So they're like wind screens that we have that are up there.
Ms. Bashar, are you talking about the press box, the actual underneath?
Yeah, I'm talking about that. You got the bleached silver colored bleachers on top of that where it says Woodlands and home of the Falcons and Falcons. The press box, that's a press box area. I was just wondering if that's going to be updated at all or repainted because, you know, I live right here. I walk it every day and I've never seen it taken down. It's always looked like that.
So Mr. McCoy just was saying that the word Woodlands and the word Falcons, those are so those are like.
Yeah, like you've got the home under the home of the Falcons. It looks like a little house. And as I said, the picture looks great. Is that been repainted or?
The press box, that's the press box.
That's how it looks. When did you take the picture, David?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. That's as of yesterday how it looks.
Okay.
Have you guys repainted that or anything?
I guess it looks better than,
To the inside, we had some damage done and my maintenance mechanic is painted the inside of the press box.
okay,
Okay.
thank you. Mhm.
Go ahead, just. Cyber first. Soccer net, the other D zone.
How do you line the soccer field?
It's turf, it's permanent lines.
You'll see, if
So
you go to a
this-
different picture,
So
you'll
it's the
see the
football
line.
lines are gonna be the.
Football and soccer, it's lined for football and
Yeah,
soccer.
I looked at that earlier because I was concerned.
And
If you
there's
go
no issue.
forward, then you have to go backward.
Which one is it?
Even if you go backward to the half court, one more, just for fun. Now zoom in. You see the yellow?
Yeah.
Outside of the yellow, closer to us is that dark blue or black line. That's the
Yeah.
soccer field lines, right?
Right.
Mr. McCoy, can you
Yes.
comment?
Okay.
Okay.
And if you look at the end zone, in the end, both, I don't know if you have a picture, but both end zones have the soccer, the goal, with, you know, the goal lines, which goes through the logo.
Okay.
So it's, you know, we say it's a football field, it's not a football field, it's a turf field that it can be used for, it will be used for soccer, football, flag football.
Okay, so that puts a certain kind of spin on the stuff that we were looking at a couple of years ago. So we saw the fields and the practice fields, I guess you'll call them now, and the kind of shape they're in. And we understand that the football team was practicing there and lots of people were coming in and we were playing all our games there. And so it's more beat up than it normally would get. But there still are some things that you could do, right? And so we had discussed previously that there are short-term things you can do within budget. And then there are longer-term things that might require a project. So could you bring up the agenda?
Mhm.
I just jotted down what I could remember from the board meeting where 15 people get up and speak one after another. And so could you go over each of these items in the short-term list and see if anything needs to be added?
I don't think it has to be because the main field will be the turf field. So
Okay.
that'll, you know, the stock will be playing on that. You know, the JV and modified might have to play on the fields up here, just because of, excuse me?
And the girls' team will play, the girls' varsity will play at the turf field?
Yes, and yes, it's been a discussion.
Oh, you're
It's been-
smirking a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, yes,
I would never
I-
have expected different.
I know.
it's sometimes,
Sometimes they have the same day game, that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, so what
So
happened?
there's an issue.
we would have to use this field, but what I also have done in the last 2 years ago when we had access to the turf field, I try to move, soccer games are easily to be moved in the summer. So we try to play some Saturday games, some Monday or Friday games where the practices are lighter. So it works out a little bit more flexible, so it is one field for 2 teams, pretty much the varsity team. Football plays on Saturdays, so that's not a big deal, they don't play during the week, except for the modified, but.
Okay, so the 3 garbage cans are done?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You have new nets to be installed or you have extra goals
So-
lying around?
Yeah, so the new nets, we ordered new nets and goals that are down at the turf. So when we had to come up here this year, we had the nets that were on these goals here. But again, the officials have never told us, they've told us to tighten it up a little bit. So it's never, you know, if there's a hole in the net, they're not gonna let you play. You know, if the goals were not up to par, they would never let you play. It's on them, it's on the officials.
Okay.
Once the game starts, it's on the officials.
Okay, so there are new nets, but they're already out there.
But I also have a backup nets that we have also in store. We make sure that we have nets on hand because we have so many goals that we use it for the modified, which is down the baseball field, we use it, so we do have extra nets.
Okay, scoreboards?
That's one, we have a portable scoreboard that we have for our soccer field up here. We have been talking about, what we were gonna do up here, if we were gonna do a field up here, what we would do with it, get another scoreboard, a digital scoreboard, things like that. Those are bigger projects that we'd have to discuss.
Okay, so that goes in the long-term
For an electronics.
project.
But now there is a portable scoreboard, which is a flip thing.
It's a flip, and I also have a digital one that's portable.
And
It's-
so
Oh,
we've had this conversation before. What does it take to get those, okay, season is done. So I guess this is a moot point, but there will be games on this field next year, whether it's modified or whoever. What does it take to get those portable scoreboards onto the field at game time?
They're there,
Mhm.
and they are accessible for the coaches to take them out or the team managers to take them out.
they power themselves?
Yes, they're run by battery.
Are you aware, like, that any soccer game I was ever at, not this year, like, all the previous years, I've never seen that there.
Yes, it was addressed a few times during the season.
I didn't even know, if I knew as a parent, I would have talked to them.
I'm sorry, how was this addressed?
I had a couple of discussions with the coaches about it.
And they didn't take it out.
I don't think it's a comment to bring up in public.
So why wasn't it done?
Again, I don't think it's appropriate to bring up. Public.
But it's good for the facilities committee to know that they exist.
It's good for us to know they exist.
Okay,
Yeah,
and drainage near the baseball infield. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Dennis?
Well, the drainage, like, where the teams are practicing, it does incorporate using the infield of the softball field or the, that area, there's gonna be a depression there when you come off of the field into the clay area on a good day, but the field is also in need of some clay also, that we're told that.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Can you pull up the picture called, what's this called?
If you go from a
Soccer
practice area where
six.
there's grass to where it's just clay,
Okay.
there's gonna be a transition that's,
And zoom in,
Not
you can
conducive
kind of
to,
see the
perfect
baseball
play.
field and the field to the left of it. So kind of put that, whatever you call those, in the right-hand bottom corner. No. Now just move it move it this way. Sorry. Put that dummy into the right-hand bottom corner.
Oh,
please.
right-hand corner, got it, okay, gotcha,
Whatever you call
gotcha.
it. Is that the area you're talking about there in the shadow? Is that the depression you're talking about, Mr. Pugliese?
well, that's.
Or is it the other side
That was
of the
the other, it was
field?
the near side, I
I
believe.
moved the dummy to the wrong place.
Yeah, by first
By
base.
first base, by first base,
Okay.
there's a lip there that has to be.
Oh, way over there. So not in the middle of the outfield.
No, where that goal is.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, that's,
So it's a natural,
that's the baseball team will be happy too. All right, so can you do something about that?
We would have to, get a quote for a contractor to, have some additional clay installed in the field area.
Okay. Installation. And so in other words, you don't have to have a drain, you just need to build up.
We would probably
surface.
just have to build up the surface to alleviate a lot of that problem.
Okay. And that might be within budget depending on the quote.
Depending on, the number that comes back.
Okay, now, is there anything else that anybody knows about that needs to go on the short-term list? Or does that about cover the short-term? Anybody? Okay. So under the long-term list, we got turf field. You're telling me that turf field, as far as you're concerned, is the football field and play soccer. 12-foot fence. Now, we noticed that you got the goal of the soccer, the goal is taller than the fence, okay? Which is probably bad. Could you just put up a
You have a
12-foot
soccer
fence
fence.
behind the goals?
I did have some, quotes.
Which one?
Earlier back in August just to see what some numbers would be.
Okay.
And, just for like a a 6-foot high fence along the backside that we have there. With a 25-foot high around the netting area, 80 feet, so probably like 20 feet on each side of the net.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a number of, I did have some quotes that were pretty substantial though, for the netting. It was, $60,000-$70,000 to do fencing and some netting just to cover behind the goals, but.
Behind the 2 goals.
Well, behind 2 goals.
Right.
On the one side of the Wiseway side and the other side towards the baseball field.
Currently, how tall is this?
That fence is 6 foot high, I believe. Oh, no, that's
No.
a 4, no, that's a 4.
It's about 4 feet.
No, that's a 4 foot high fence.
There are sections actually out towards where we're practicing that are more like 6 feet high,
Yeah, so.
but not here.
I got a number to do a 6 foot fence around that. That boost that up 2 feet there and probably 15 or 20 feet on each side of each goal to go up 25 feet. Cause that's where most of the shots you would think are gonna go over the net.
So do you need the 6-foot base fence in order to do the 25-foot net?
No, it's a separate entity with like different stanchions.
So what if you just did the net?
If we just did the net,
I'm wondering, like, did the quote you get, did that break it out?
yeah, there was like one was for the fencing. Every time we have a security, they wanna see 6 foot high fencing around playgrounds and such.
Yeah.
But I do have a separate number just for the netting of 80 linear feet, 25 feet high.
And what's the quote?
That quote was back from the summer. It's just under 29,000.
Did I hear you say that the fence was supposed to be for security?
Well, every time we have a security audit, they recommend 6 foot high fencing.
Yeah,
At
when we,
this
any
particular
fences.
location?
It's pretty much any
Yeah, any fences.
any playground area.
It's a liability issue and other things.
Okay.
So they recommend,
It's not like a
that
fence
fence that's
area.
right there, ideally they would want 6 feet.
If you're gonna replace it, that's the recommendations that we constantly hear.
And reconditioning fields, is there anything that you have to do to grate the area and even it out other than the clay area?
Nothing that I'm terribly aware of. I think the biggest problem on the soccer field is just the overuse. Even if you had irrigation and teams practicing, even if it was a perfect field in a perfect world, you just can't have teams play on it for 5 hours a day, every day.
Even if you brought in new sod.
Even if you had sod or
Replace the sod
irrigation
and
doesn't
sod,
work,
okay.
and the field needs time to rejuvenate itself.
Okay, so in terms of irrigation, you think that the wear and tear is going to make up for any, you can't grow grass fast enough?
Correct, in our irrigation, the pipes have been broken over the years. I put them on my first year here and the guys are shot up out of the middle of the field.
Okay, so do you recommend irrigation?
I wouldn't at this point. I think that, the long-term goal, I think that if you're gonna do something with the field, I think you're better off just with another multi-use turf field. The longer the amount of use that the field gets, the kids are out there every recess, several periods, and the field gets used. The kids are out there for hours every day before practice, before games,
So, I mean,
before the
this is-
people that come in on the weekends.
Right.
Mr. Pulis, but this is not the only school district that has had grass or fields. So how do they normally maintain them? Is it that everyone's switching to turf or
A lot of them,
play areas?
a lot of them, like even some of the schools that are, they'll install turf
Mhm.
or sod. They'll install sod if the fields, they can't keep up, the fields need rest to rejuvenate themselves. If they're overplayed, it's a common problem across any field that's used.
So we may need to look at our facility use in general and perhaps limit use of the field to outside groups during our season.
But I don't think it has to do with that, I have to do the legal use of it. The legal, we have no supervision from 7 o'clock till midnight, or on the weekends, nobody's here to supervise it. So that's where I think it's getting abused.
But there are other groups out there using it who may or may not have the permission.
Yeah. They're
Right, so
official
we have to have
groups.
staff,
Yeah.
we'd have to hire staff to watch the field, and the question is, does it pay for itself? Okay, so let's, just for fun, let's look at something called 2024 soccer presentation handout, handout, yeah.
Sorry, hold on.
Because we were getting ambitious a couple of years ago, but we.
Soccer field. And
So, yeah, soccer presentation too. Now, we had a presentation that was given at a board meeting, and then we saw that the numbers were inaccurate. And so we had our architects go back and look at the actual costs. And then so they tacked on the next pages are the pictures of the soccer. And this is this picture. This slide at the beginning, right? Was the thing that was actually accurate. It just, all right. Coaches. All right, so that was historically what we saw, and the soccer team stood up at the front of the meeting, and one by one they said, you know, we want a turf field. Of course, we just renewed our turf field. Okay, so go to the front page. Okay, zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, full synthetic turf, so we have a turf field. New fencing, they said $55,000, new bleachers, $20,000, netting for behind the goals. Let me ask you, we have portable bleachers, are they sufficient for the games? Is there more audience than there are places to sit, or?
For this soccer field here, there's not, there's a small section of the bleachers, but it's so close that, you know, where the dip is and where the hill is, it's so close to even put another set of bleachers on there. But we're constantly being told, like, you know, people move back, so we have security to tell people to move back.
But those bleachers aren't portable.
I mean, you can move them, but they're not.
But that's not what, is that what you're
field is
talking?
this for?
Go ahead.
What field is this for?
The turf field.
With the grass field? Is that what this
Is
is
that
for?
what are you talking?
Yeah, it
about?
says
We're also
soccer
trying to figure
field
out which bleachers we're talking about.
I believe this is, nobody said that our bleachers at our turf field are inadequate, okay? We've got plenty, right? We manage the
Where are these?
homecoming game, right? So I'm looking at the times when the soccer field that we're using now, right? Has an audience because there's a game.
Right, so the ones
So
that you're
he's-
talking
he's-
about,
he's-
so those are
right.
not, those
So
are
he's-
not, those are always there.
Yes, I mean, they're movable, but they're not, I mean, you can't.
We don't
Yes, we
remove them
don't.
around.
No.
They're pretty much always.
Right,
there.
so I'm asking him if he thinks he needs more bleachers.
Yes, I think it would be great, but again, it's also a space issue, because it's so close to the field, where, you know, you're right on top of the field. So we have the set of bleachers that are there, and people are standing, they'll bring chairs.
So,
Okay,
so we don't need more bleachers because there's no space.
but no space.
So
Okay.
it's like, it's kind of moot.
There could be narrow, there could be, because technically we should be having a second painted line that people shouldn't be, I forget if it's 3 or 6 feet. There should be some division, and if we had those smaller, it doesn't have to be huge bleachers, but smaller bleachers along the whole field instead of all stacked up in the middle. It would help with the issue of people standing where they're not supposed to stand.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so that might be worth getting a quote. Okay, good.
And we should have a painted line in the future.
Then, netting from behind goals, we have that.
That's way low, that's much lower than what you just said. That's much bigger, it's like that.
Yeah, that number was,
That's just 25. It's a new fencing and then netting.
January 2024, it's not that far back.
it depends, you know, the height of, it depends on how high you wanna go and how wide you wanna go. You know, maybe if you were only up 12 feet, the poles are gonna be different than if you were going up 25 feet.
Press box? You want a second press box?
No.
No.
No,
Okay,
I don't really have room for,
no, you'd rather get
No.
more bleachers on a press box, you don't need a press box.
right, okay. New goals, taken care of, scoreboard, you've got it. New team benches.
Wait, can I, wait,
Yeah,
how do you know when it says scoreboard, they were meaning portable scoreboards? I think they might have been meaning
Like the
a standalone, like the one at the.
the
football field.
stationary one.
Yeah. We don't have anyone here tonight, do we, who was part of this?
I was never
The
part
guy
of
at
this.
BBS is
Okay.
on call.
Okay.
I was part of this discussion 2 years ago.
Okay, thank
Do
you.
you know what kind of scoreboard that was?
It would have been a permanent scoreboard, not to the size that you have on the main field probably, but something as a placeholder for a permanent board.
okay.
Again, this is very high level. Just keep that in mind. You know, it was kind of a off the cuff like we're doing tonight. You know, let's add this, let's get a price for this and that. And so we generated this wish list of field updates for that at that time.
Okay.
I would probably also add 10% at least for escalation for today's dollars based on this is January 24. Going forward, just to make a comment.
10% on top of that 10% there.
Correct.
Okay. So then, new team benches, is that?
I was never part of this, so I don't know, like,
No,
I
that was
mean,
mentioned at the board meeting.
and I'm looking at some of the stuff that, like, if we're gonna do, you know, we have a brand new turf field, and the district and the community spent a
Yeah,
lot of money on.
yeah,
That has half of this, like, we should be looking at other things to do in our facilities, you know, since we did this already. And I just think that, you know, those are the kind of discussions we should be having.
okay. Does anybody wanna go on? Or have we pretty much got our list? It looks like we probably need to look at a quote on some bleachers. And we need to, you know, and such that they'll fit, and we need to look at some clay. Yes,
What's going on with the baseball fields?
we can look that over.
I don't know.
Next
Anything
time.
going on with baseball fields?
Going on weekly repairs.
Cleaning it, repairing it, making it look presentable.
Yes,
Okay.
we redid the batting cages, we had the coach and students, you know, throughout the winter, Dennis's crew usually, once the snow
Fence.
gets, you know, cleared out, they start working on it. And Dennis and I have been in contact about some of the upgrades that we can do budget-wise for this year. You know, in an ideal world, we're talking about a turf field where we could look at turfing the outfield of the baseball softball field and making that a turf field with a multi-purpose soccer field that we could use, you know, smaller, instead of turfing the field across here. That might be something that we look into, might be beneficial, because you'll have a baseball softball field turf, and you'll have a modified, smaller soccer field that we'd be able to use.
Okay. Baseball.
Turf.
Okay. Yes, go ahead. It's a little off the cuff, but go ahead.
No, I'm gonna get myself in trouble, but I feel the need to say this out loud for the future. I agree, this plan, I don't think should be our immediate priority, But if we're just outlining things in general to do in the general future in some time horizon to be identified later. If this is ever considered for turf, this field, the current varsity soccer field, grass field, I would just need to remind everyone that we do have our water pipes under there and some other pipes that have had issues in the past. So before we turf that over, I'd want to basically dig it all up and make sure everything's great and good to last for 10 to 20 years, which would add to this. I just need to say that out loud before we start walking down this road. It can be a nice thought. We need to keep it in the back of our mind, but I just need to say that out loud.
Okay. Yeah. All right, then go back to the agenda. So we've got clay, bleachers, and fence, pretty much, right? We're talking about this, the
Top field.
grass field.
Grass field.
Grass.
Grass field.
Are they considering dedicating that to the soccer program?
That's
Full-time.
where the grass
Do we have to do something with baseball?
is currently where,
I know what it is.
when the turf field is being used, that's where other games are played if they're scheduled simultaneously.
That's JV and.
Right,
Well, that's the.
there's a lot of teams, and then there's girls.
Okay, next item on the agenda, tennis court access. So we have wonderful new tennis courts, and we have them for our students to use, and we have them locked up when they're not in use. And the question is, should we open the tennis courts to the public, and under what circumstances? And if we do so, what hours, and how should we manage it?
Okay, I have some general comments on that. First of all, whoever's responsible for those courts being built, they're beautiful. Whoever did the design, amazing. Great density, great, everything's great. We've got the scoreboards there. You're gonna need some wind screens. My understanding is, talking to Dean, that they're going to be installed, but not for the winter.
We just okayed them, our digital,
Purchasing.
yeah, I mean, they're already, we're okay.
Are they
inside
full,
all,
are they 10 foot?
Yes,
Oh, that's right.
and they go both sides,
Okay.
and then the middle has a plate.
The middle is the most important,
Basically.
but the more the better.
Yeah.
The only other addition I think should be considered is they're lacking benches. They're not expensive, they're made out of recycled material. You can do 4 large benches or 8 smaller benches, because you have doubles teams, so you would want enough room for 4 players. But you've got a lot of space, they're not expensive, and something to look into.
Mr. McCoy,
For inside the court.
Yes,
okay.
yes, one set for each of the 4 courts.
Mr. McCoy, I believe there was an Eagle project last year, the year before, where some people built
With
benches.
Mr. Tokarski. I think that's who it was. Mr. Tokarski was our tennis coach, and we've talked about those benches, and then we've looked into them and have them for the spring.
Okay, so
Okay.
you're working on it, great. As far as access, I was kind of shocked when I showed up there one day and had a nice talk with Dean, the engineer. And
I was gonna say, who is Dean? Okay.
Dean's our engineer. For this project,
I understand.
maybe
but
others.
I don't call him Dean, that's all my.
Okay. We found the courts locked. He said, yeah, they're locked, for whoever decided that. I had a chat with Dr. Chisholm. She recommended we take that up here at this meeting as far as opening the courts to the public or parts of the public.
Okay.
So, every high school in this area has their courts available to the residents. We'd be the black sheep if we didn't make those available. I don't know what else to say about it. Obviously, during school hours or during their operations, they're not available. But other than that, they need to be available.
So I would like to show you a few pictures of the White Plains School District. So could you bring up pictures that start with, I think, White Plains, WP tennis?
While you do that,
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that White Plains is a city school
Yes,
district.
very different.
We are not.
Okay,
What does that mean? Explain that.
There's
Budget
major differences.
considerations, they have a lot of shared services with their city, with their youth program, and different local sports organizations who not only pay for use, but also help manage the use of various sports
These are-
facilities
these
in
are-
White Plains.
these are new
It's just 9 day for budget,
Not as new as Woodlands,
And
and
they're-
like new.
newer
Yeah.
okay,
okay. Having said that,
resources.
okay, so here we have a sign that says, tennis only, no bicycles, no parking, tennis specific shoes only, right? No non-marking shoes. No food or glass, no pets, use courts at your own risk. And you'll find that, you're allowed to, use the courts, on the weekends, and you're allowed to use the courts, anytime that there's, not a tennis match going, and you basically, click on the code there with your phone, and it gives you a schedule of tennis games, so you'll know in advance when you can't use the courts.
Closes sundown, no
Can I
pets.
just say something?
Yeah.
Somebody online said that they can't see the pictures anymore. I don't, can we ask like some of
I
the other
can-
folks if
Sharing,
they
it
can
says-
see them?
I am online and I can see the pictures.
Okay.
He's sharing, so.
I don't know why she can't see them.
Okay. All right, go forward and we'll
Yeah, sure.
look at a couple of other slides just to. Right, they have 10 tennis courts, so they're a bit larger than,
It's a different scale.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
then you-
totally different
yeah.
budget,
Yeah.
different budget,
Yeah.
tax base.
Yeah,
Do they
yeah.
have benches?
That's a good question.
I don't believe they do,
I don't see.
Okay.
but those courts are not according to spec. They wouldn't be certified by the ITA, okay, whereas the courts here would be. So there are problems with their facility, it's just new, it looks good, but
Mhm.
as you can see, the density, the courts are much too close together.
The ones on the right, those aren't.
No, those are just
Right,
practice
those are-
courts.
right.
The courts in the back and on the left, you look at the space between the two nets and the two sidelines, they're not compliant.
Okay. And then tennis courts are not available to the public during the school hours, Monday through Friday between 7 AM and 5 PM. In addition, tennis courts are not available to the public during times of school sanctioned activities such as athletic practices and matches.
That
So they-
paragraph, the lower one is the key one.
All right, so on. And then they have a different set of signs for their track, right? They have the surface track and people do go and walk around
Sure.
and because they have lights, so the people go at night and walk.
Excuse me.
Very healthy for senior citizens.
Right, so school grounds are for the use of school district residents only. I don't think they check your ID, but,
Right.
They don't,
okay.
but they could if they wanted to, if they had to.
Yes, and, okay, next. Right, so they have things that are in the way so that you can't open the gate and wheel your bicycle in.
Good.
And they have lights, right?
So is that gate for you not to be able to bring a bicycle?
Right, you're not supposed to, yes, but you're supposed
That's
to
great.
allow people. Yeah, yes, Dr. Allen, and that's what the track looks like with the surface.
I would like to recommend that we adopt the rules that were in the White Plains sign with the addition that something about summer camps, which are sometimes held at the school. I think the other signs are unfriendly, where they talk about things that are prohibited. So I like the first one, and I would like to suggest we adopt that and move on.
I'm gonna be the voice of negativity tonight, I guess, because I do need to just look at all the sides of the issue. And I do need to say that the warranty for our new courts is dependent on certain conditions being met, such as
All the rules.
appropriate
That's why
footwear,
there's rules.
such as certain when certain things are left on the court for too long, it needs to basically be cleaned off in a timely manner, or else that can invalidate or
Sure.
change our warranty conditions a little bit. So I do think rules are important. I will also just say that while this recommendation sounds like, David, you're gonna ask the committee for a recommendation, but I will also say that the full board will probably want recommendation of administration, and I will speak to those who aren't here tonight. I have heard from some public members who, and I'm sorry, I don't know where I fall yet, but I'm voicing the members of the public who have approached me saying that they don't think we should open them. And I just need to say that there is another faction out there. Other opinions out
Far
there.
more of the public would vote the other way. I guarantee.
I don't know, I'm just saying
Oh,
what
I do know.
I'm just saying what
Because
I've
I'm
heard,
involved with this community.
and I'm just sharing.
It's difficult to tell people, it's their hard-earned money that built the courts. Now you're locking them. That's not gonna go.
I am not saying my opinion, I'm just sharing what others have shared with me to make sure there's other.
The bottom
voices being
half
heard.
on the residency, restricting it totally during school hours is very restrictive. Obviously, it's gotta be restricted whenever there's a school activity, but I would leave that other part out.
During school
time,
hours.
7 to 7,
Okay.
7, yeah, I would leave that fluid.
Okay,
If they wanted-
so the first sign doesn't have that, it's the second sign that has it.
Right.
Okay,
If, to her point, if you wanted to put something about footwear, no bicycles, no that's fine.
right, all that.
Yeah.
No non-marking shoes, use courts at your own risk, all that.
Whatever the contract requires and our warranty and.
So look at warranty language.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be, as Carol pointed out, it shouldn't be unfriendly.
Can I just say something? Should we be concerned though about letting people come on school property when students are in
Yes.
sessions? So I think that's why they're saying they don't want you on the property during school hours,
Yeah, that's,
because our student safety is what is most important.
okay, I don't think that's a concern unless there's been some issues that I'm not aware of on this campus. Do you know of any issues that?
I don't know of any
Okay.
issues, and I would hope that we never have any.
Yeah.
With
Right,
student
we wanna
safety,
keep it that way.
Right.
yes, we've had issues, we've had people doing bad things on campus before, during the day when
Coming
students are here.
from the outside,
Yes.
doing what?
I can explain to you off camera, when it's not on YouTube.
I can imagine.
But there are.
I don't think they're
there are
tennis
things-
players, that's what.
I probably not, but there are some things that have happened with
Okay.
our students.
Okay, Katie?
Go.
A couple of thoughts and questions. So, obviously, I think we're all excited about the new tennis courts and we want to keep them like new as long
Pristine,
as
yeah.
possible and wonderful, right? With the kids and all that, the teams and whatever, there are adults here. When it's open to the public and nobody's here, how do we keep it? How do we hold people accountable if they mess it
That
up?
is the situation that every high school in Westchester is in right now.
And how do they do it?
Some of them are not monitored at all. Edgemont, I don't believe has monitoring. Scarsdale does. They do have an attendant there because they check for residential IDs there. I think it's a mix, but most of them do not monitor the facilities. I guess a few do,
And I'm wondering.
but none of them are
Do
locked.
any of them have like a reservation system or a thing where you have to
I don't
sign
know
up?
the school district, but I do know the municipality. The town of Eastchester has a brand new park. I don't know if anyone's
Oh,
familiar.
yeah. By
What is it,
Leeward.
Leewood Park?
Yeah.
If you're ever in Eastchester, just take 10 minutes and look at this place. It's beautiful. It was renovated last year. They have an online reservation system for their courts.
I'm just wondering if there's some sort of middle ground like that. Yeah, I don't know if the people who came to you, Chris, about saying, I don't think they should be open to the public, like, can there be a limit, more-
The software is out there, that's all it
Something
is.
just
If
wanted-
the school district wanted to make that investment, it's available.
would that make people feel more comfortable? I feel like, we need to hear more of the downside and the upside and what people are concerned about. I think it's
That may be a
mostly,
solution.
you just heard about people come on the soccer fields and there's overuse of the soccer fields. people bring their dogs who poop on the
Yes.
soccer fields,
Yeah.
that didn't,
Yes.
you know.
That
I'm not
constantly
saying,
see
so
the
we
Skylar's
have that
dog.
history where we're
It's
like,
terrible.
we don't want that happening.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're
And
feeling, I think,
I do.
very protective of the tennis courts. However, would I like to come up on a weekend and play? Sure.
course.
I mean, I can't
So
play.
I think
but
the
I'd like to
administration, it's a
learn,
decision for the
you know.
administration,
So I think we.
whether
need
it's
to-
worth it to do, but it could work.
Let's hear from everybody. I think they want a recommendation and they may go against the recommendation, but they want to hear it.
Okay.
Okay, so Jessica,
Hi. Two things. One, I was over at White Plains Middle School at the start of this meeting, and actually stopped and read the sign that they had up along. They have a beautiful turf soccer football field there and track. And I read the sign and I didn't feel it was hostile. I thought it was very clear. So in terms of that wording, it was there, and you expect to see rules, you expect to see guidelines. You're at a school, taxpayer funded. The group I was with has a permit, and they were very clear about what the expectations were for parents in order for them not to lose their permit to use that space. So again, clarity was given and expectations. Just place I've meant to go for many years and just haven't. For the gym, the weightlifting, can you remind me when that is open in the evenings, or is it open at all on the weekends?
3:15 o'clock till 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday.
Okay, is there any way that there can be some alignment with that? Because is there somebody there who's monitoring that space who could potentially then lock the tennis courts up? Or just kind of thinking along the lines of that space also that's used by the students, we want it protected. So I'm just wondering if that could be used at all.
That's a question for Mike.
Mr. McCoy?
Whether that's doable.
I don't think it is. The gentleman who does the fitness center, it needs to be in the fitness center, monitoring what's going on in there, and it's a distance from the two.
Is there any maintenance staff on duty at those hours?
They're working hours.
Yeah, and I do have, the senior custodian, like he'll lock up the gates or such at the end of the night, and that could be on his to-do list, but also you have to be, concerned with, the lighting of tennis court. You don't want somebody out there at 6 o'clock, in the winter, it's dark out, it's really not safe. Towards the building, it might be good enough illumination, but you really have to be concerned, after sunset.
all right,
No
courts close
liability-wise.
at dusk. Okay,
I mean, you also talk about the hours is, we are on the fields 6:15 in the fall and in the spring, 6:30. And with Ms. Val, I'm not trying to piggyback you, but my biggest concerns, and I get it to community, we thank the community so much for helping us. It's not just the people using tennis. In the 9 years I've been here, I've had to kick people off the tennis courts for other activities, bikes, things like that.
That's a problem. We don't want that.
And it's a big problem. Our press box that was donated has been vandalized several times that the district has put into. And as you said, there's other communities don't have the issues that we have here, because our football field is out of sight.
Right.
Our tennis court, it's not monitored.
Right.
If it was monitored, if we had a gatekeeper there, I'd have I know I'm not making decisions, I have no issues, but the community's put a lot of money into these new facilities, and I would hate that they were
Yeah,
damaged for other reasons.
Totally agree.
There is a group that I know that wants to be on those courts, and it would be great, but to me, he said, who's making them accountable? Who's making these people that are coming into these courts accountable, riding bikes, things like that, throwing gum?
We have to monitor.
Field marshal on the weekends, just somebody, just to be,
right.
If we don't have, like Saturday, there's typically somebody here during the times, but, just somebody
You
to come by.
could even hire
Do the
some of
building
the,
checks, just to go around.
hire some of the students to do this as a part-time job. I mean, it's just eyes, eyes and a phone. That's all they need.
What about a volunteer team?
That's it.
I mean, if there's a set of hardcore tennis players in the community, like it sounds like I'm getting the sense there is.
Oh, we
Could
definitely
you
do
guys
that.
come up with a team that we could vet, and then we could have like a volunteer volunteer.
Everybody's schedule's pretty tough, but I can say that when people are on site, nothing bad's gonna happen based on our presence. But we're not gonna be here all the
Trustee
time.
Val, maybe one of the scouts could do a little observation, community service.
That's trouble with volunteers is it's a commitment and you have accountability issues. So I'm not speaking of the scouts, I'm talking about volunteers in general.
And maybe we need to have a discussion on, building into our budget extra security. Because we have more than just the tennis courts
And
to
do we
worry
charge
about.
fees for use to recover that money, the new expenditure?
What's that?
I'm just gonna throw it out there. Do we charge fees for use?
For
To
use of
recover
the
that new
tennis courts?
expenditure?
For use of the tennis courts, you're saying?
If we're out hiring
If we have
people.
security.
I think if you look at the investment that you're protecting, the cost of it would probably outweigh.
I just think these are all factors admin will need to take into consideration.
Agreed.
I also recommend that we actually do a survey of surrounding districts, because I understand you've gone around, it sounds like you've done a lot of work. I remember, and I haven't gone over there in a while, I remember Ardsley courts used to be locked all the time, so. But that was not this year, so I don't
If
know
you
what
find some
current.
locked courts, let me know.
Okay. We'll survey the surrounding districts, and then we'll come back and we'll gin up a public gets to use during certain hours with certain sets of rules, or the public doesn't get to use it, and then we'll vote on that.
But Trustee Warner, I just want to say, whatever recommendation comes out of this committee, it is a very small representation of the community. That's all. And the decision, the
It's a
recommendation will
facilities
come from
committee, yes.
admin after considering everything.
Go ahead.
But also surveying the surrounding communities to see what they do with their tennis courts, if there's signage, what the signage says, what the hours are, so all of those things. And I would love to know if you could find out that information, maybe Mr. McCoy could find out from the athletics department how recently they fixed their stuff, because it took us years to get this tennis court.
Decades.
Decades to get these tennis courts.
That's why when you
fixed.
tell a taxpayer they can't use it, it has a especially bad taste.
Yes.
FYI.
I'm in agreement, okay. Okay, so I think we have to go off and do some work, and we'll come back and take a vote next time. We've got time, right? It's not really tennis season, so.
Let me just throw this part in, we're making a chart. And if the school district has a municipality, maybe the municipality does not have courts and that it is shared services, that should be a fact, that should be something we just, Greenburgh does have courts, and I understand our courts are new, they're great, and they're potentially, I'll throw that caveat in there, free. So we are probably in competition with Greenburgh Town for rent, so if we can add to the little chart,
Do you rent?
do you
Well,
rent,
my
or is
concern
this a shared project with the municipality? You
This
might
is a
not have your
shared
own courts.
project, but we have to again look
Agreed.
back at the security aspect of it, so
What
then
do
we're
you-
actually inviting people and listen.
Yes.
Yes, so regardless of how you feel or not, when things happen, people are very concerned that this is then we start hearing, well, it's a private campus, it's a closed campus, we have to pay for that. So
But we
you
invite
can't-
people
you
to
can't-
our,
You can't talk out of both sides. If we're going to focus on as well security and securing the campus, do we create more shared spaces? I mean, we have the garden up in the front, and then we run into all these issues with that, so I just think we need to think about.
I'm pretty happy with
both
Gordon.
sides.
I never used
I just wanna finish what I'm
facility,
saying, I
right.
think we need to look at the pros and the cons of every situation that we do. What did you say, cause I didn't
What
hear.
did you mean by shared facility? I'm not getting that.
The garden is district property that we loan to the town. And so public members are in the Woodlands Middle High School campus during school hours. If an emergency were to happen on campus, then we need to clear the area or communicate to people, don't come here, it's really hard to do when we have these shared spaces during the school day.
And
I don't know if
that
that's
is
the
a-
full extent of your concern, but it's one example.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that shared space would be all the way in campus and at the school building, so if there was a concern, like major things that do happen at high schools, you now have a shared space all the way in campus, at least with the
So
garden.
the town
At
was
least,
sharing.
hold on, let me finish, at least with the garden, it's on the exit, exit entrance, what do you call it, the edge of our campus. It's not all the way in and out the building.
Okay. FYI, the town had a shared facility with the school district. Okay, that's been the case, because the school didn't have adequate courts, so they were using the town's courts. Now, of course, now they can use their own courts. But the town managed that shared facility without any issues.
Well, we have a reciprocal agreement with the town that we could use their courts, yes. To practice.
And
Well, you
we
don't have to
have
use them anymore.
an exercise facility which people are allowed to come to inside the building.
It's in the
Shared
bylaws.
space.
Yes,
Yeah, no, I mean,
After
too,
school hours.
that is the
Yes.
point, no, but it's during, while teams are here and everything, it is true that I guess it's kind of similar to what you were saying, like, why can't we be playing tennis if the tennis team isn't there? Somebody said, oh, well, is that safe? But we have people coming to the
All the way in the building.
All the time.
We do, and that door is, I just walk right in, there's no check-in after school, it's like, until 2:45, I have to do the front and the whatever, but after school activities, if someone wants to come hurt our kids, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, let's
And
not
I
say
know that's
that.
not the security committee meeting, I can say whatever I want right now, I'm not a board member, I'm not in executive session, Tracy, but anyway, I know that was a tangent, but I just felt that, actually, as we're talking it out.
yes.
So, and there's like discrepancies.
It makes us nervous because this is now.
It's on
for
YouTube forever, yeah.
Yes, it's public, but it's also.
But what did I say that no one knew already? I don't understand.
Strangers might not know that.
I don't know that.
Most of the
Oh,
residents
but
don't.
that the back door is open after 2:45 to come in and use the fitness room? What, like, I don't understand why that has to be secret. If it's a real issue, we need to address it.
I didn't know about that facility until I was told by one of the coaches. You know, I had been open for years, and then I was over at the town, KFV Park. One of the coaches over there mentioned, it. What are you talking about? And then they said, oh, it was donated by the Warburg Estate, I guess. I said, how did, it looked like a professional football, training center. I couldn't believe it, what I saw when I went over there. So,
Which facility?
this is the, I don't know, what do you call it?
The fitness center?
Yeah, the fitness center, which is open
It was a
to-
grant that the
Yeah,
community
it's open to the public. Matter of fact, we should encourage the public to use it.
Or donate new equipment, because we do need some new
We knew a
equipment.
lot, need a lot.
The
of
tennis
equipment.
courts are in the same category. Anyway. You know, we should encourage people to use the facilities, we should encourage people to be healthy. And I guarantee most of the community doesn't even know about the fitness center, they definitely don't know about these new courts. The only reason we know about them because we found out, but you know, it's good news, but most of the, I guarantee you, 98% of the tennis players in the school district do not know what you have here. Once they find out, the whole, you know, what you decide is gonna be really impactful.
If you came here on the weekends,
Oh, I never
you'd
been
find the community knows what's here, trust me.
Really? Because I was here a few days and nobody was here. Nobody showed up.
Saturdays between 12 and 6,
So what do? They drive in, it's locked.
it's they have a party. They have a party in the student parking lot, they're on the soccer field, they have full games.
Really?
The turf is used, when we have the
Oh, you're
turf.
talking about the general public. I'm talking about the tennis playing public. They don't know about this facility right now.
But the biggest concern, again, is not the tennis community.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
gonna bring here.
I get you.
And that's the, you know, I've come here on a Saturday to set up for a football game,
Mhm.
and it takes me 3 hours to clean up from the mess from the night before.
It's a shame. I think the police department has to cooperate a little bit more with you.
I have one speed dial.
All right,
The
Moving
chief, the
on.
chief is a good guy.
we have any more comments on the tennis court? Okay.
I'm sorry, the tentative signages that I already have
Yeah,
ready to go, just I'm waiting to file with our branding on it, logos and things like that, and add, so they're ready to go to the company whenever we get
Nice.
approval.
You know, like the Falcons and all that.
Yes.
we have. Okay, good. Membership. On 11/4/25, the Board of Education approved 2 more people as voting members of the Facilities Committee, which brings the voting list to the list you see before you. And phase 4 project. On 3/24/23, the Finance and Facilities Committee voting members prioritized a project list for phase 3 and beyond. This is going back a couple of years when we were combined with the Finance Committee. And we had a list and we prioritized them. And item number 1 was the Woodlands High School Science Lab, which we then created a large project, which now is financed and is moving forward over the next couple of summers. We'll complete it. And the other projects that were number 2 was exterior shelves. That is the doors and windows and building envelope. Then the number 3 was ECP, adding ECP classrooms to Leah Jackson. Our current ECP kids are kind of spread out amongst the ECP main. They've moved to Leah, some are in Leah Jackson, and a few of them are actually in Highview. The idea is we can consolidate back. Then we had a project that came from the building condition survey. We prioritized everything from 1 through 5, and we took a number of item 1 and 2 priority and put them all together. And then we had number 5 was mansion ventilation. We had in phase 1, we improved the ventilation in every school that had children in it. But at the time, there were no kids in the mansion, and so it didn't qualify for the American Rescue Plan funds. And so we didn't do the ventilation in the mansion, but it needs it in order to reoccupy it. Then, number 6 was the soccer field, and you just saw it. You saw that. So this, we're now at about the point where all this construction is happening. And but the lead time is so long to get to this point that the construction will be over and we won't have totally cleaned up our facilities. So the question is, we should be planning now for what happens in, once this set of projects we're watching are completed. So my question to you is, what projects should be included in a new list? When should phase 4 begin? And how much risk are we willing to accept? That is, if you look at it and you go after a bond, the bond may fail. And once the bond fails, it can imperil the budget. And once people vote no on something, it usually goes in spurts. So if you ask for too much, then you get in trouble. So that's you have to have this element of risk. And of course, we're going to have to know how much funding we have on hand so that we don't have that as much risk.
Trustee Ballard?
Yes.
Thank you for the outline of what we've done and where we're about to go. I just feel that this is the time I want to reiterate to the public watching at home, because there's some things in the atmosphere. This might be a good time to reiterate that this particular budget year, we are not proposing going for a new, we're not going to go for a vote for an additional bond. Is that correct?
That is correct.
For this, during this budget year. I think right now, we're identifying what needs to get done.
Ideas.
And starting to identify priorities. There's rumors out there that we're about to go for a bond any day now. And I think
Yes,
at this moment in time,
yeah.
that is not true. Right. David, you're looking at me with these eyes and I don't know how to respond.
Yeah. There's incorrect
So right now, the
rumors that are
discussion
going
is
around. It's
looking
just-
at
let's be
everything that
clear.
needs to get done and starting to identify priorities.
We're not at the point where we've said bond or no bond. We haven't identified what our top priority project is, and we have to figure out what that is, and we also have to figure out how much what we want costs. And then we can go back and look at it. I don't see how we could manage a bond this time.
Just because it's floating around out
It's
there, and
already out there,
I think
yeah.
it's time, before we begin this discussion in depth, I
To
think it's
be
just time to
clear,
clarify.
Yeah, that's fine. She's just being clear. She's just being clear there. She's just being clear.
You okay? Okay. All right. So all right, now we're throwing out ideas.
I know, just ideas. Everybody's.
Okay. So I copied go on to the next page. I copied the old list that resulted in these priorities 1 through 6. And we have several existing projects. And we can also add other projects, and we can also combine projects, right? So if you think that you want to do some soccer bleachers at the same time that you do something else, and you think that the parents of the soccer team are going to go out and vote for something, then that's a popular item, then great. We may pull that in and say, okay, and we'll replace some windows, right? Do a little bit of the building envelope thing. So we're looking for suggestions like that, if possible. Yes.
First, Mr. Johnson, can you, when he says go to the next page, can you somehow combine the bottom 2 to the top of page 3? You can maybe move the science labs out of there and just leave priority 1 and 2 and exteriors. Okay.
Maybe
that's
it
what
was.
you're doing.
There we go.
Yes,
There we
thank
go.
you, thank you, okay.
Okay, science labs we're doing.
Yeah.
We may ask for people to give us more money for the science program in the future, but we've got the science labs, I think, kind of.
So I'm
In
gonna
process.
just give, before I share any thoughts, and I don't wanna share my thoughts first.
Yes, you do. Go ahead.
No, but I wanna set my framework, and my framework is when you talk about things like bleachers or the clay on the baseball field, those to me seem like tens of $1,000s.
Smaller projects.
Smaller projects that should be built into a yearly budget as opposed to this is a capital project. That's just my framework of how I'm seeing things. I also.
I think if you add
Just
up a
think
number
of
of
the framework.
$10,000 items.
I do, and that's where I'm about to get to.
And one of these
And then-
projects is actually that.
I don't wanna get to where suddenly we have 10 and 50, and suddenly it's 100,000 plus for multiple projects, and where, in my mind, at least
So
3 of these.
BCS priority
Let me
1
just
and
finish
2.
my framework,
Yeah.
in my mind, these are big ticket items, and that those 100,000 some projects, I wanna sock that away in our capital reserve piggy bank. So that when it is time to go for getting a big project done, we've saved a substantial amount to offset any other financing methods. So that's just my framework for how I'm trying to plan things out, and it's easy to say that.
Okay, but you understand
Yes.
that there may be a big project that needs an exit sign,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And an exit sign won't cost $100,000.
Absolutely, right.
And but it will be part of a larger project that is required. Okay, good,
And I'm
just so we
hoping
know.
Mr. Pugliese has it in his budget.
Okay. So, priority 1 and 2, BCS items. GCSD Phase 3 repairs, BBS comments.xls. Can you bring up that document?
Second.
BCS 1 and 2 repairs.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so you notice that on the left-hand side, there are priority 1 and 2 listed, right? So it's provide RBZ backflow prevention device on the water mains, on the water surface. Is that included in any project that we've got going now?
Mr. Messina?
No, a majority, David, of these items have not been touched. I think Dennis, you and I went through the list and you crossed off some of the smaller things that you tackled yourself. And I've updated the list based on the capital projects that we have been doing, for example, the tennis courts and the track. But all these items predominantly, I'll say 99% of them are still available to be done.
Right, so you see to the right, there are some, in fact, small items. So let's call out the names of the larger items. Could you make it a little bigger?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Remove the remainder of the stone retaining wall on the southwest corner of the building, replaced with new poured concrete retaining wall. Right, so that the building doesn't fall down into the ravine. And that's $374,000. Remove and replace steel beams that support walkway above boiler room. Investigate structural issues with sagging and sloping floors at west elevation. That's $150,000. Scroll. Yeah.
David? Trustee Warner, I know we're about to go to the mansion ventilation project, but to get back into the mansion, we need to do the ventilation, the retaining wall, and there was a third piece I can't remember, just so I can see if it's on this list.
You got anything? Yeah, you always have to.
Was that on this list?
The fire system would have to be totally redone. The wireless, you're not gonna be drilling hard wire.
So was fire system on the page 1 here of this priority 1 and 2 for the other building? Page 1 or 2, let's see, is it in here?
It should be.
Could you search for the word fire? Provide lighted exit sign. Access all points of the fire escapes. Okay.
There we go, maybe that's it. 355.
Yeah, okay. Remove non-compliant stairs at the end of the corridor. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Fire system. So night fire systems, okay. Battery operated carbon monoxide detectors.
Well, is that a different building though? Are we in a different building?
Hold on a second. No.
It's still
This is all admin.
okay.
Right, so this is all stuff. So the advantage of opening up the mansion is that the people whose office space is now sitting in the basement of the high school, then it frees up the high school space for the students.
Thank you.
Okay. Have we, yeah. All right, so let's look at the big, there's a big ticket item.
This is priority 2 now.
Remove damaged brick veneers from south wall to northwest column. Yeah, okay, we talked about that. Okay, remove original wood frame, single pane glass windows, and so on. So this is one project. Okay, so if we want to go and look for items throughout the buildings that are.
You wanna?
BCS related, yeah, just look at anything that's over, okay, repair asphalt pavement, provide additional drainage, embankment stabilization. It's all administration building. How much of this is the administration building?
4.45.
All of it. Yeah.
Page 3, 4.453 is, oh shoot, no.
No, it's 11.
Oh, I thought this was Mr. Broussard's priority 1 and 2. No, this is just the mansion.
This is the mansion.
Okay,
We're looking
so
at the
this
master
is not-
ventilation system.
All right, we're looking at just the mansion.
All
Okay.
right, so we looked at the mansion. Look for exterior
Here.
exterior shells, exterior masonry, doors and windows. Okay,
This is 5.453.
right, and this,
All right.
okay. Let's repair basement entry. Place ramp to classroom 2 for ADA compliance. Okay. Masonry repair. Place all windows, there's a big ticket item, $3 million worth of windows. What structure are we in?
Not 3,300,000, right?
No.
That's easy.
Look, that's
Oh,
LFJ.
I was looking at the BCS 69 too, where it says replace all entry doors, so I was looking at the wrong line.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, Dave, just to interrupt for a minute, just remind you, this exercise that we did was back in 24 of January.
Right.
And you do have more updated numbers in your current BCS. So, again, I would probably add 10% on going forward because we're in year 1 going into year 2 of the BCS when we did it, just to escalate those numbers.
But let me say that item 69, replace all entry doors into storefronts. We did some of that work recently in the 3rd grade wing, so.
Correct. And
That's-
it does reflect that.
100,000.
Yep.
Oh, so it's the same 60, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, so this needs to be updated to take into account the fact that we've made some changes, okay?
So Mr. Messina,
I think we've
is
done the
it,
replanting.
wait, what? What did you say?
I think we've done other items on here already.
Oh, okay. Mr. Messina, is it correct to say, because you said this was done in 24, and to add 10%, is it, maybe I'm making it simpler, but is it a rule to just add 10% every year?
No.
Okay.
No, just to give you a little history, this Excel spreadsheet was pulled out of the original 2020 BCS.
Yes.
Because at the time we didn't do the updated one yet, right? We walked your buildings again in 23, I think.
Okay.
So these numbers was just an exercise to give us a number for the building shells, windows, doors, masonry, etc. And it was just to give you a streamlined overview of each building. When we did the new BCS report, which maybe next month we should pull out that report, those numbers reflect the projects that you've done already. And for example, at Highview, the wing of the 3rd grade wing, we did the windows there. So that number in that BCS report will be more indicative of what the actual budget should be versus what you're seeing on this page right now tonight.
That would be more accurate.
So if we think that this is a worthy endeavor, if this is one of the options we want to consider, we've got to both scrub the list and update the costs.
And this is the shell project.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is still a good document to talk about tonight, though, because it gives you the scope, and the scope isn't changing. It's still the exterior shell. So if you see something on here that you want to proceed with, we can update the numbers off of the most recent BCS report.
So David, is there no document for the priority 1 and 2 BCS items? I don't see it in the drive, and we kind of skipped over it.
I will go and we'll look for it. Okay, so we can't look at it if it's not there.
We did a lot of work on it.
TCSD phase 3 repairs, okay? Alright.
I can read it off to you if you want that information. So year 1, which would be priority 1, at the admin building, it totaled, I'm gonna just round things off, 4.8 million. Early childhood was at 1.2 million. Highview was at 8.4 million. Jackson was at 6.5 million. Bailey was at 5.5 million. The teacher center was at 250,000. Same thing for the transportation garage. And then the high school, middle school was at 3.8 million. So your priority 1 items in total for the entire district was at 30 million, let's call it 31 million.
Right.
And this is as of 2020.
5, right, 24.5, right.
Prior to like roofs being complete, so theoretically, projects we have in progress would need to be deducted from those amounts,
We have to
correct?
scrub through it so we're not double dipping, yes. Typically a roof wouldn't be a priority 1 unless it was failing. Priority 1 items on our definition of it, and it could be different than the districts, but our definition is health and safety. So It's things like fire alarm systems. It's that type of thing, fall protection, unsafe stairways or whatever. Those are health, safety, public health and safety items. So those are priority ones. Roofs are typically priority 2 if they're really, really bad, but usually they're number 3s. Anything on an exterior shell of a building, windows and doors, is usually a 2 or a 3, depending on the condition.
So there's a rating of satisfactory or unsatisfactory, or this, right? Built into CS, right? So
Correct.
and we've been doing some work based on this building condition survey. So what kind of priority, where are we?
So you're okay. You got to keep in mind too that a lot of priority 1 items get added as a health and safety item because you have a pre-existing non-conformance in your building, which means, for example, when the mansion was built, you didn't have a fully addressable fire alarm system. All you have is just pull stations in that building. You still were given a permit because that's when, at the time when it was built, you have a building permit, and you can continue that. So it's not to say that you have to do those priority 1 items if they're pre-existing non-conforming. But a lot of times, if you're doing a capital project or you're doing a renovation of a space, and I'll use an example of an auditorium, and let's say the fire alarm system in that auditorium isn't up to the current code, the state won't give you a permit to renovate that auditorium without addressing that priority 1 item on your BCS. So that's why it's on there. It's something that you just need to be cognizant of, that if it is a priority 1, most of the time it is health and safety. Sometimes you'll say in the report that it is a pre-existing non-conforming item, which is the key there to tell you that you don't necessarily have to do it, but there will come a time when you will need to do it if you're going to do some kind of a major renovation to that space.
Okay, let's look at ECP classrooms. And that should be updated LFJ pre-K, it's updated and not to current. Updated LFJ pre-K 2024.
What's it? Maybe there.
Sure. There we go. Okay, make it bigger.
Yep.
So, the inside, there's a central courtyard to Lee F. Jackson School. And if you fill in the open side of that central courtyard, with additional classrooms, it would look like this. And I believe at the time we had some administrative offices in addition to the classrooms. So then we have an estimate here: 4 classrooms plus admin plus support, $14 million, 11,700 square feet. And then they talked about playgrounds. I don't think we need the playgrounds because I think we have them. Is there an option B? Can you scroll down? Option B, and there's the $11 million version. It's fewer square feet, I think. And that's if we want our administrators not to drive themselves crazy like they're doing, running around from building to building, and having our art teacher using the stage in the cafetorium instead of having a dedicated art room and things like that, because there's just not a lot of room. So that is an option that we have looked at in the past. So what happens to the cost? I assume it goes up?
Yes. Again, conservatively, I would just add this from 2024. So if you're planning for 26, you're probably going to add another 5% per year. So you're at 10% more.
Okay. And then we have the soccer field. And so we need to go and find the priority 1 and 2 BCS items. So, what are some other things that people want to see on a wish list? I know Steve Morton has indicated that for a couple of years now, that he thinks it would be great for us to get a cell tower, use some of our land that's far away from the students, to put that up, and then our problems with cell reception out on the football field to go away. So if we want our security cameras to talk to a network, then we've got it. We've got it, right? And in addition, depending upon the contract, you can gain income.
Potential money maker.
Right. So that probably should go on the list. And we have to find a way of coming up with an estimate.
I wasn't
Yes.
on the tech committee when it was tech and security several years ago.
Okay.
But I remember trustee Pineda explaining to me that you guys had a long conversation about cell towers over near the ECP side.
The Morton side, the Morton house. Remember the Morton house we tore down?
Yeah, no, not that side, over more on this side where ECP is now.
Well, I don't really want the cell tower right next to the
No, I know,
ECP
I was, so
children.
no, me neither. My question was gonna be, when you guys had that conversation, was there any data or information that we could pull from that research that was done then?
I
I don't know who's on the
don't
committee.
know any hard. I don't remember there being, you weren't there then.
You weren't here, no, you weren't here. I don't know, did BBS do that? Was it BBS, was it?
Mike, do you
Saudi?
remember anything?
Cause they did talk about that, and you guys were looking at spaces, that's what he was.
Right, and it is, everybody wants a cell tower, but nobody wants it right
Wants
next to
it
their
near
house.
them, that's
So
right,
you don't
that's
want it
right.
next to Stone Oaks, right? You don't want it,
Right.
okay. Go ahead.
And I may be misremembering our conversation the other day in the tech committee, so anyone that was there, please chime in. But weren't we hearing that there's not as much demand from the companies for land to install cell towers? So maybe what could have been to our advantage a few years ago might not be the case
Now.
now? Am I misremembering this?
I
could be misremembering.
know that, well, see, Steve Morton didn't show up, right? Steve Morton was involved in a project in which there was a cell tower recently.
Yeah, there's no up 5G coverage right here, at least that I can see, so.
No, we have this building.
Your light is on,
I'm sorry?
your flashlight is on your. On the back.
So as far as I know, no, I don't know of any, I don't remember any detailed coverage of this. We've talked about it, but we have not gotten back hard numbers.
Gotcha.
Okay, other suggestions? Online? Anybody? Okay, so we should, as I understand it, we should take the lists we've got of projects, clean up the lists, update the costs, and we'll try and do some research on the cell phone towers and see if there is a demand. But yeah, and go from there. And then we'll take a vote and see what we want to go forward with. And then the next question is, where does money come from?
And I would posit that maybe we don't take a vote, maybe we set the priority list of everything that needs to get done and maybe call it a preferred order.
Yes.
Preferred sequence.
What I just showed you was done by having the voting members rank order the project.
Oh, that was
And
the
then
order
we
of the
added
voting?
up all the
Gotcha.
all the priorities, and whoever came out with
Gotcha.
the lowest total number comes in first, and then there's a person that comes, a project comes in second, project comes in third, so on.
Okay. Thank you.
FYI, on the
Yes.
cell phone project, the town of Greenburgh can be a very good resource for you if you need to gather information, because they completed a major project. I think it took years for them to decide what to do.
Okay.
Now coverage in the town. So there are people on the board or on the staff of the town that could really cut through all the questions quickly for you.
Okay, I'll,
Don't be, you know.
we have
don't be shy.
contacts there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that.
And the planning commissioner especially would be great. I forget his name. But he can also direct you to, they actually have a board on an antenna board. It may still exist.
Okay, normally I talk to Walter Simon and find out, yeah, yes.
I have a question about if, okay, so you're saying in a future meeting, we'll be
Prioritizing,
reprioritizing or?
right,
Right, okay. So for me, it would be helpful to have even more information, like sort of like which things are the most problematic right now? Like what exact, so that I could understand whether I thought like the crowding at ECP or LFJ or whatever was more important than like getting the admin into the mansion. Or are there like leaks and certain things at certain buildings that are just worse, totally bad? And so it would make sense to do that exterior masonry at one of the schools, but it's not as, bad. Am I making sense? You understand? Like,
yeah,
details
What's
and sort
that?
of know, it's sort of like justify exactly why you should be number 1 or 2.
So
To
I
me,
can,
right,
I can see that probably you might want enrollment figures and enrollment projections in order to figure out how bad the ECP problem is.
Well, that and also just hearing like, how bad of a problem is it that they're separate? Is it, the nurse has to go to the different places? Like, how pressing is it? I heard little things about Halloween, and I know that was annoying for parents and not getting, but what else? Like, academic, like, tell us what all the difficulties are by having them in 3 locations.
Would you want to hear from admin? I guess the reason why I'm asking what source is because depending on the project, someone can make an argument for the project, if that's me. Am I saying that right? So like I'm a fan of the mansion, for example. So I would argue with the ECP crowding problem, create a whole early childhood center in one place, like the mansion, for example, right? So that would be my argument, but maybe Ms. Merrill may have a different reason to open the mansion or not. So that's why I'm saying, like, do you have a preference on where to, or Mr. Warner may have different priority lists and may have different reasons why different things need to be worked on or not. So like, I think it would depend on is there specific data that you want?
Well, no, and then like you mentioned the mansion, so people have said, oh, there's overcrowding in Woodlands. Or, the kids can't, the band, I know there's like something with the band stuff. I've heard little things over the years, but like a more, like a cost benefit analysis almost of each thing. So that.
Sounds like she just wants
We
like
don't have
a
unlimited
justification.
funds.
A narrative.
We
Right,
have to
we don't,
choose. If we could wave a wand, we'd wanna do all of these.
So
We have to choose,
there's staff,
what are the most pressing, and we have to also be realistic about our funds. And, I would love to know, I know it's in the capital reserve right now, but even to know more about what we anticipate each year, maybe in the budget and the intertransfer, that would help too.
So
there's staff, there's Dennis Pugliese, who knows which leaks are the worst, right?
Like some of the concerns, like my biggest concern would be like the building envelope should really be addressed in the near future. Windows and doors, a lot of our doors at the point where they're not safe, that they don't lock properly. The closers it's difficult to get hardware, so we're at the point where, doors could slam on, elementary school kids. The building envelope is, 50, 60 years old and it needs to be addressed.
Right.
A lot of the doors, we ground them down. I had the locksmith come in and try to repair what they can. They're to the point where they're unrepairable, a lot of the doors. Is what the problem is now.
Okay, so, do you want to specify, is it so many, is there a school that needs more attention than others?
Right.
Or
Typically,
is it spread across?
Typically, we have half a dozen doors at this building that are in bad shape. Jackson's got 3 or 4. It's pretty much the whole building, like what we did at Highview Elementary in the back third of the wing. That's what we need to do
So that makes
throughout the district.
That makes me think though, from what Trustee Ballard was saying earlier, if there's 3 or 4 doors, can that fit into a budget?
Well, typically you wanna do, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, like when you go to have doors and windows done, you wanna do an elevation. You don't wanna have a hodgepodge, something standard that's gonna look the same throughout your school. You don't wanna do 2 windows here and 5 on the other side of the building unless it's absolutely necessary.
So,
Yeah, exactly. And you want to make sure too that you're getting the same window product from time to time. If you break up the building too much, there's no guarantee you're going to get the same manufactured window for one elevation and you do the other. So, because you have to publicly bid it. Yeah.
And how much are doors? Maybe I'm thinking, how much are doors? I mean,
It depends on the assembly too. If they have a transom above with glass, if they have sidelights, if it's part of a curtain wall system, there's a lot to it than just a door, unfortunately. But it can range anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 a door opening, depending on the size.
Dr. Allen.
I understand the issue about wanting to do things so that there's uniformity. However, that's cosmetic, and we have to really focus on finances. And I think it would be a lot more palatable to the community, to those who are paying the taxes, if we said we have a plan, we're going to do 10% of this project every year over the next 10 years, so that the immediate financial impact is minimal.
Well, I think it's also economies of scale, though. If you're gonna get like building by building.
Yes.
I understand that, but you're concerned about asking taxpayers to finance bonds, and you're concerned that they won't do it, and that'll have budget impacts. So we also have to consider maybe it will cost a little bit more per window, but we can be confident that we can get it past the taxpayers.
Also, I mean, when we think of doors, again, I gotta go back to safety. We shouldn't be this building, Mr. Smith says, is 44 doors. He always talks about all the doors. But at Jackson and other buildings, we shouldn't be using all the doors. There should be certain entryways and egresses that are used frequently, and those doors should be working well. And if the other doors have random issues, then I'm in agreement with Ms. Allen, with Dr. Allen, that why not get a couple of doors in a budget, and even if it's a different type of door, or it's not a door that has certain things on it, because that's not a door we use often. It's like a fire door or something that you go out of in an emergency.
You need to make sure that works.
Yes, that it worked. That's why I said 3. Okay. Yes.
So I think, the shell project is not just the doors, and I know why you're focusing on that. But, we're doing the roofs now, so we're not gonna have the leaks coming down, but we still have the leaks coming in here. So, I do think of the shell project as a shell project, but to your point about the doors, I feel maybe we need an understanding of a better, an update basically on each building, because I thought not within these last 5 years, but I think within the last 10 years, at some of the elementary schools, I think we did just replace some doors.
Some of the doors, yeah.
If not for entire buildings, at least the ones that are frequently used. I'm misremembering, but I don't know if there's a way that information could be summarized to know.
So
at Jackson,
we need a building by building.
We had 8, right, exactly.
Right, so which is what you were asking for, I think. That's a good way to organize it. We'll go building by building. We'll come back with some stuff. All right, And the last thing, of course, is how much money we have on hand. Now, we know the balances as of June of our funds. Shauna, what,
Ms. Merrill?
Ms. Merrill? What are we looking at in terms of our capital and repair reserves, in terms of how much of those are earmarked for other projects and how much of are free?
So, that is something that we should be able to report out probably by the next meeting. We're currently working with the finance committee, going over all of our capital projects that we have. I'm just getting a handle on where we are financially with them.
Okay.
You know, we do have a lot of projects that are coming to a close, so we need to make, you know, it's hard to know what's left until all of the invoices have been paid.
I'm gonna say I'm really proud of the district as a whole. We've done a lot
Yes.
in the past few years.
There's a
We
lot.
have. We've done a lot since you joined us.
You guys were resting up for a
Please.
lot of years. But
We did, because there was a period of time where not much was happening. And you know, we've done a lot. We've done a lot, so I do wanna not ignore that.
Okay, I think at this point, we need to, it's 8:21, we need to move quickly through the remainder of the agenda. Let's go to the next page. Go to the boldface text, right? So we're talking about the adopted project, the facilities project, and the water project. And right there, the western connection to the water supply is not exactly where the town of Greenburgh said it was, but it's nearby. A change order will be drafted to accommodate this. We're gonna talk about that. We're about to go into our project status for all of our major projects. And a second change order will be for the possible fire hydrant for the mansion. And we have a sheet from, I think, July or June to go over that. It's about $30,000. So why don't we go straight to project status? And bring up the project status for, it's page 5. So, yeah, all right. And take it away.
Okay, this will be fairly quickly. So the fire hydrant water main project is ongoing. I know, Dean, you're there, but right now, basically, we're waiting to hear back from the attorneys and the title search for the property outlines on where the existing 12-inch water main is. So the contractor is still working though in other areas. He's not stopping working. And Dennis, I don't know if you want, Dean, if you want to update anybody else on something I missed, that's fine.
No, Mike, I think that's good. The point that you are working with the attorney to get us access to that connection. In the meantime, the contractor has plenty to do. It's not stopping him from his progress. Yep. So, yeah, we're pushing on.
How will weather impact the progress? Let's say the title search takes longer than expected. Is there a point where we have to stop the work and wait until the spring, or?
I don't think so.
I mean, we mentioned it, the kind of, they just keep working. I mean,
I did ask that last week's meeting
that was,
if the winter weather would impact, and they said no.
Okay. They've been spending, I think, the Veterans Day holiday, going over the portion that they scooped out on the main road that has been starting to implode. Go ahead.
No, I'm very pleased to see that was getting done today as well, because I was concerned after the rain. I saw the puddling or pooling, I'm not sure which term, but I was concerned about with the cold weather coming, that would be icing over. So I was very happy to see that they were going through and making it level again.
Yeah, they had the binder coat down last week and now they're topping it off with the top coat. There's 2 different layers of blacktop and the trench work that was disturbed.
I've always been so happy.
I think
Okay,
that's supposed to be finished this week.
yeah, they're wrapping up, the section of Packapone Road that they had already installed the pipe, and then they're gonna remobilize down to the bottom of the Wise Way and work their way down and out towards the front.
You might as well show the map. Pull up the,
We are gonna have some plates around for a while, so.
Yeah.
Dennis or whoever is plowing the road, so.
the dark part is the part that's
Good time to
done.
deal with that.
They're about 2 car lengths from the end of their route. Now, did they do that so that they would have a choice as to whether they have to bend the pipe in a particular direction, or?
Yeah, I think it really just worked out with timing. It was like they probably had 60 feet and it was like, this is a good stopping point kind of a thing.
Okay.
And so that's why they've stopped there.
Okay, and so we've got, right, and then the next point will be with where it's yellow to the right. Right, when they get done repaving everything, go to the opposite end.
Is Con Ed completely done with everything over there?
Con Ed, with the gas main,
Mhm.
yeah, they've done their tie-in on with our side, I believe they're still tying in individual houses on the road, but we've been energized and tested up to the meter on our side.
Okay, and so right. Okay, fine. Go back to the report. Okay.
So the high school running track asphalt is complete, as you saw in the photos. I believe now we're in a holding pattern to the spring, but Dean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we're weather now dependent going forward.
Yeah, the contractor is about 2/3 of the way complete with putting the fencing, the 4-foot fencing on. They kind of go in spurts, but their word is they will be out of town here by Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Okay.
So that's the goal they set, the stake they put in the ground for themselves. That means continue to pull things out. It was a good question that was asked about the pile of asphalt. And that's been addressed with the contractor. He's like, yeah, all of that is gonna be gone. They're working their way out. Talking to Mike, Mr. McCoy, working along with him, we've inventoried all of the new equipment for the track and field events. So he's working out his space to get those all put away for the winter. But everything has been inventoried, everything that the contractor owed us has been delivered. And then there's also items that are lingering from before that have to be disposed of. So there's some of the contractor's things and there's some of the district's items. And the goal is that we have everything cleaned up by Thanksgiving to where all we have to do is have the contractor come in. Now, the other point we wanted to mention on the track is the temporary fencing.
Yes.
Right? So we have a price for that. It's a fair price for extending the use of that fencing through another 6 months. And with the assurance that it's going to be completely gone over, completely bolted together, all the sections. That's my mission right now.
And we are gonna have cameras up there. There's some sort of, yes, okay.
Yeah, so we'll have it battened down and cleaned up for the winter. That's our goal there.
But it will be a secure perimeter. I mean, obviously, if somebody wants to get in, they're getting in with bolt cutters or whatever, but we're gonna try to make it as secure as possible.
You're talking about the temporary fencing, but you also mentioned the 4-foot fencing that will be permanent, correct?
Yeah, that's gonna be completed.
So, seeing White Plains, our old entryway was just a little jog. Are we doing a multiple thing to keep bikes off that track?
Yeah, Mike, we don't have,
Bikes and
we just have swinging gates right now.
I believe so.
Other districts.
Just tricycles and bicycles.
Is there a way to do that? that type of gate entry, not gate, what is it, like a zigzag entry?
What you saw there was probably a secondary means to get in and out of there. You gotta remember, you do need to keep your ADA clearances to get on and off the track. So, what we have in place, it meets those code requirements. What you saw in the photo is not a code, allowable item, so it's something we could add. We ask them to give a price if you want to make another cut in the fence and provide another way to get in and out, and maybe keep the ADA accessible entrances locked during certain times, but during a field event for the public, those other entrances have to be available and open.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I'll continue if there's any other questions for the track.
When oh, sorry,
That's okay.
but when should we start, because I will be asking, looking at, for them to come back and finish the track? Is it March 1st, April 1st, 15th, like?
Please.
So it's weather dependent, and I wanna say the last correspondence I read said that we have to consistently have a temperature in the evening of 55 degrees. So.
In the evening.
In the evening. So obviously that depends on when that happens. And we don't have a whole lot of control over Mother Nature. So
May.
it may be April or May.
Yep. Yeah.
The evening 55 is.
Am I correct?
You're correct.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean.
50
the-
degrees and rising.
Yeah, the other thing, I mean, track surfaces are not generally installed in the spring. The company that does it, they're generally have all their projects done. So we are on the top of the list. And we are one that they're gonna wanna get it done because it's an open contract, or subcontract. So they're not going to, we're not gonna get bumped, they're gonna wanna get out here, and when they say they can do it, when everything is right, but it could be the beginning of May.
And then,
You said, right?
so May 1st, right, so May 1st is gonna be warm. So they come May 1st, they lay it down, when can the field be the track be open, the field be open?
I think they said it's like a 2-week process,
2 weeks.
give or take, by the time they do the work
May 1st
and the curing time.
So the spring sports are not gonna happen on that field. Most likely not.
Okay. Next project.
Okay, thank you. So, roof replacement at Woodlands, the roof manufacturer has completed their inspection on 11/3, and corrective work is being worked on and addressed by the contractor. So they have that list from the manufacturer. We give them our punch list as well. So they should be completing that work in the next couple of weeks. And that project should then be closed out.
When was the last time you were working?
Last weekend they were here.
Before I forget, there is one other possible project to add to the list. That is solar panels on the roofs. Once we have new roofs, we can have solar panels. So, we should wait until our current energy performance contract is, completed, and, make sure that, everything happens as it should happen, we have a certain guarantee that the funding will take care of itself, that the thing will pay for itself. Once we're sure of that, then we could go forward with another project of putting solar panels on our various roofs. And of course, we've got 2 roofs still coming up that are.
We didn't have the option of putting solar on top of the roofs.
Didn't have
until
right.
fairly recently. Right.
Okay.
So
Question.
David, that kind of goes into the next line item for district-wide district-wide energy performance. One thing is to keep.
Mr. Messina, just wait.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Carol.
You mentioned solar panels. Will that require state education department approval?
Everything.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So then my question is, should we not start working on that now before the roofs have been completed? since it takes so long to get it done?
You need to have approval based upon having, new roofs or.
Right, but we have new roofs. They're just not finalized yet. We have new roofs. I think we should be able to start the process now of contracting to get the solar panels put on, knowing that it's not going to happen now, but hopefully it will happen a year from now.
Michael, what do you think?
So, great question, great comment, Miss Allen. You took the words out of my mouth. We could definitely do that. Just keep in mind, you need to put out another RFP like we did the first time. So you can't give it to RWE to just add to the current EPC. It has to, the state's gonna make you put out another RFP for the solar projects. There's also a ticking clock. So the funding that's there right now, the project would need to be completed and usable and punch listed, everything done by December 31st, 2027. So there's you got a 2-year window to do the RFP, do the design, do the paybacks, do all the public funding, the vote, whatever. So all that needs to be happening pretty quickly. So I was going to suggest tonight, if it's something that you want to do, to bring it up to the board maybe next month, to vote on whether or not they want to do another EPC project to get that going in the first quarter of next year. As far as the RFPs go, and get that out for hiring an EPC ESCO contractor.
So this can be an energy performance contract item also?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, for solar.
Yeah, with solar, that's low hanging fruit, that's
Yeah.
good
Right.
payback on that, especially, this building here, Jackson is a very good site. Even Highview for
Bailey's a great site.
2/3 Bailey.
So there's your possible funding source. Go ahead.
But I would,
Caution.
gosh, I told you, I'm the person of negativity. I would say that one, the funding, I'm assuming is federal funding, Mr. Messina?
Correct.
Right, so, okay, let's just note that
Yeah,
down.
they're slowly phasing that out. So that I think it's going to be gone by December of the 27th.
So I understand the urgency in some corners, but I'm gonna say if it's an EPC, that means that the cost of the project is offset by savings for solar
Energy.
what you're
Yeah,
contributing to
yeah.
the grid.
Yep.
Right, which means we need a new baseline. We don't yet have, I'm leery of the finance part of it because we don't yet have the new baseline because our existing EPC project isn't completed and hooked up and we don't have our new baseline yet. So I feel like the numbers that we would be working with aren't really going to be
Yeah, they're not accurate.
to what the starting point would be. And I could be uninformed, but I would say, I would want us to do a little more homework on the financial side of it as far as how we structure that. Dr. Ellen has raised her hand again.
Yes, Dr. Ellen.
Okay. I don't know about the for the school, but I know when I looked into solar, they said that there is a cap on how many panels you can put on your roof, how much energy you can produce, which is based on your current usage. So if that's the case, we would want to have the maximal usage rather than waiting for minimal usage with the results of the current improvements that we've done.
Yeah, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that for the energy performance, they go back 3 years for your usage for electrical for each building. I believe
Correct.
that.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah, and just the window, really all you're asking for is to put out the RFP, the request for proposals from the ESCO companies. And they're gonna, whoever gets awarded that, and it still doesn't cost you anything, they're gonna go in and do the audits of your buildings based upon the last 3 years, plus at that point in time, your new building energy performance will be in place and running. So that they'll take that into account, and they'll tell you what the payback is and what the maximum amount of areas you can do the roof solar on. There may be a building that isn't a good building for it. Even though you think Jackson, for example, or Bailey, you say might be a good building for it. Really, the areas that are available to them, once you take away all the rooftop units and exhaust fans and the sloped areas, it might not be that much to pay back to put a solar system there, but they're the professionals that would tell you that in their report. Back to you.
Okay.
So I
Next
hope
one.
we'll do it soon. Let's do it sooner rather than later.
David wrote it down.
Yeah,
He wrote it
because I
down.
know,
He said
we
right
haven't talked about it, and we don't know where we're going with an EV charging station, because our transportation provider is not in-house, it is a contract. Theoretically, who knows what would happen in the future if they continue, if we're hoping the state, I know some people don't agree with this, but we're hoping that the state extends the deadline on the forced conversion of school district transportation. I'm thinking out loud, I'm sorry, it's gonna come to, but I'm thinking, like, in my mind, the solar panels in the future would have offset the EV charging additional cost in the future if we had to do that on campus as opposed to our vendor charging elsewhere.
At the moment, it looks like they're going to have extensions on a district by district basis, and you'll have to prove to them that you're a hard luck case in order to do that. Yeah, go.
No, I'm just saying we need to apply for that.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's in the agenda
Oh,
down
is
the
it?
road, I saw.
Sorry, I didn't
Oh,
go.
it's on
But I'm just
the
thinking the solar panels and energy costs.
But you wrote the solar panels.
In my brain, it was
down,
all
so-
kind of together.
I wrote the
Sorry.
solar panels down. We can either continue with this, which I kind of want to do, but
We,
it's a
Let's
natural
finish this.
progression. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's finish this.
All right, fine. All right, go ahead.
So I'll continue. So we talked about the district energy performance contract. Everything else is still the same there. Like Dennis said before, the gas service is done. I think they're just waiting for a regulator, and then that should come online. Last I spoke to Cal, they were hoping before the end of this month. That should be over at the gas. And then the balance of the work will be finished in the end of the year and go online in January for the switchgear.
Good enough.
Any
Has the
questions?
switchgear appeared?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It's due to
To-
show up this month, I'm told.
this month.
To make the better battery energy storage system connect to the grid. Okay.
Okay. The two roofs at Highview and Jackson, we had a bid opening on October 30th. We issued our letters to the district for award, hopefully at the next board meeting. Both contractors were under budget, which is great. Our bid strategy has worked perfectly the last 2 years. You were the first in line, unheard of to get 23 bids for those two roofs, which was fantastic. So the numbers came back very favorable, and hopefully we'll have a kickoff meeting once it gets awarded by the board. We'll get contracts going and bonds of insurance from the contractors, et cetera.
Can I say something about that? So
Sure.
the date that you had on your update, was for it to go to the Board of Ed on 11/18. And I don't know that we're gonna meet that date. I
Okay.
think probably gonna be on the December 2nd board, only because of the agenda cutoff time. And I only just saw the, recommendation this morning. It may have been on Monday, but, we were closed yesterday, so I just wanted to note that, because I think on your agenda too, it still says 11/18. It's more than likely going to be on the December 2nd board.
Okay, that's fine. As long as it's in the 45-day window when we open bids, that's fine. The contractors won't walk away from their numbers.
That would still be within the 45 days, right? Because it was October 30th, I believe.
October 30th, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Just to make sure there's no board questions on the second, hopefully when you get all of that set, that can be put in the board
Just send
packet,
it,
so we
yeah.
can send questions sooner rather than.
It's already on its way.
Because we won't be able to punt it further than 12/2.
No, it's already been, sent to who puts it in.
Gotcha.
Continuing on, the science labs at Woodlands, we just received approval from the state this week. Permits should be issued to the district shortly. So next steps, I just updated this from our last meeting last month, is we have a meeting scheduled on December 4th to review this construction manager's estimate, along with him reviewing and developing a construction implementation plan or a logistics plan with the school for phasing the project for phase one. And then this information, as it develops at this meeting, we'll include that in the bid package as well. So that as part of the bids, that the contractors will know how to price things out accordingly. And then phase one construction to start first quarter of 2026 is when we're hoping to bid it. So I would like to get it out sometime in January or February, the latest, so that we're opening bids and we know exactly where we're hitting our numbers for the construction of the project. Any questions? All right, and then the last item is the field turf at Woodlands is complete, and it's I believe your purchase order should be closed out on that end, that they're done 100%.
It's still not available for you. Is anyone listening? Can I ask a general question about this list, which came up earlier today? Were any of these projects done as emergencies and not qualify for our building aid reimbursement?
No.
So all should get our measly 10%?
Yes.
Thank you.
With the exception of the field turf, of course. That is the purchase order. But yeah, anything you submit to the state should get some portion of 10%.
Wait, we were shouting it to not let you go away. We didn't hear what you said, Mr.
He's got 2
Messina.
minutes to work on this.
Wait a second, keep it on. Wait, what?
100.
Not in this session. No. There you go.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Messina, can you just repeat
That's
the
what I
whole
was saying
thing?
3 times.
What I said was, if any project that we submitted to SED, you should get your aid or a portion thereof of it. The only time you don't get aid is if it's a site restoration or anything to do with site work that isn't tied into an interiors project. But I think you have pretty much everything. There should be some kind of aid ability on there.
Everything on this list. I think there were some things that dropped off that may not, but we'll talk about that offline another day.
Okay.
Or not we, but someone
Okay.
else.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to smaller projects. Dennis, go back to the agenda.
On page 6.
Page 6.
Okay, new certificates of occupancy have been issued and distributed to all the buildings. The mansion and Woodland certificates are temporary and expire May 31st due to the fire hydrants that we're trying to remedy now. ECP main building, kitchen renovations are in progress. We've ordered some flooring material and we're repairing some of the walls in the space.
May 31st, 26, right? Sorry, because you have to.
Yeah.
LF Jackson, access door was installed near the boiler room for ductwork service. We still have should parking lot be expanded and parent drop off ad cost was about $90K. Need to design for a future implementation. That's on hold.
Yep.
Okay, Highview, new swing set was installed in the southern playground with water and mulch. We had some trimmed dead and diseased trees along the back roadway. Also have another update that we had some security film placed on the rear windows facing the playground. And we had some blacktop work completed on Tuesday there also.
Okay. Where's the blacktop work completed?
The rear access roadway where the vans come in.
Yeah.
We had a couple of areas that were had some water damage.
Okay.
And a new area of blacktop was added around where the gas meter is, where the side walkway is.
Right, the canary yellow pipes come down, okay.
Questions, trustee Bellman?
Yes, there's over there, the line painted on the road. How did that come about? Did we do that? Did the town do that? Why was it done? Is there an issue we should know about?
The town did that to delineate
Our area.
the roadway, the shared area.
So are they
policing it?
Going to say that, because it's, let's be clear, since this is recorded for all time. The roadway going up to Highview is district property, but it's used all of the time for public accessing Presser Park or Redfield, whatever you still call it. Whether people are using it to drive on or using it to park on in the shade. Therefore, since it's shared, the town in previous years has been generous enough to, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, at least plow up until a certain portion, or they don't plow it at all?
Typically, we open the roadways,
Okay.
when we do the schools.
Okay, have they helped us repave portions of that road since
Well,
there's town use
I
of
did go
that?
down to the city and I found out that, through the deed, that they were responsible, so when we had it blacktop, we split the cost.
Okay,
And it
But I
was
didn't
a
know-
considerable amount of money
Yeah.
also was,
okay, I was concerned that now that suddenly there was a painted line, that was
That's
them
gonna
saying,
make
we're
a
no
difference."
longer gonna share.
no, it was just to the point where nobody had done anything with the roadway and it was more potholes than roadway.
Okay, so the painted line is just a painted line, doesn't signify.
Correct,
Anything.
what I'm trying to do now is, put a double yellow in there to really delineate that it's an active driveway, because if you see a double yellow on both sides.
Right, because people do
To
park
try
there
to
when we're trying to
determine, we
get the
have signs
buses up
there,
and down.
but people have lunch there and
Yeah,
they do
okay,
block go.
Thank you for
But in the actual, just to be clear, in the actual driveway, the way of traffic, people park there for the
Mhm.
shade because of the trees.
Mhm.
Correct.
So,
So we're trying to deter that by putting a double yellow in there.
Great.
Alright. See, RJ Bailey, the auditorium and decorative plaster pieces are starting to be removed. The plan is to patch and repair the remaining plaster in sections as time permits throughout the school year. We've started replacing aging lock sets on some of the interior doors at Bailey. The Woodlands, the turf replacement is complete, however, the field is closed due to track construction. Let's see. Stage lighting is scheduled to begin in December of 22nd and wrap up about February 6th. This will impact the MLK assembly.
why is that impacting the assembly? You know,
It also impacts Mandarin.
And the Mandarin,
do we know why?
because
During the dates between when it starts and when it finishes.
It's work on the stage. So they can-
yeah, it's a construction area is what the problem is. We're specifically trying to hold the work off until after the winter
Yeah,
concert, but it's, you know, there's board meetings or something, whatever is scheduled there for 2 months, it's gonna have to be relocated while the site is a construction area. Construction in the security vestibule is complete. Well, that project is being closed out now. Gas pipe installation is complete inside and around the building after the meters.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We've only had maybe 1 day, 2 days of cold weather. How is the temperature control in there?
And
We got anything in the vestibule?
Oh,
I haven't heard of any complaints. We had the heating guy come out and give us an in-service of how to raise the temperature and adjust the fans. I haven't heard any complaints from the security staff. Let's see. We talked about item 4, spread on the football field driveway to fill the potholes. Millings have been put down on the roadway and the roadway's in much better shape than it's been in the past. Paving costs in excess of $200K, recommended deferring until after the energy performance panels and all the construction is done on the rear, on the football field, turf field, multi-use field. Trench work for electric lines parallel to the driveway is completed. Installation of solar panels and foundation work for battery energy storage system in the field parking lot is complete. Hookup to the grid is pending. They're still awaiting the fabrication of the switch gear and have for delivery. Committee member suggests that we enclose the best
station and concrete sleeve is per town and Greenburgh standards. Cost estimates range from 213K to 237K. Hartsdale Fire Chief indicated the wall is not relevant to fighting the fire, since the plan is to keep the public away and let it burn out. Committee voted to proceed with the original design of chain link fence enclosures, owning the cost. We also wish to have concrete barriers and bollards to prevent anyone from parking near the best. Committee member is gathering data to propose a lower cost alternative. On 2/25, the Board of Ed approved naming the field area, the Eller Memorial Field, after Edward Eller, superintendent of the building ground. From 1978 to 1990, was responsible for the construction and maintenance of the field. Drafted inscription was attached. That's still under fabrication and it's almost ready for delivery, I'm told. I haven't received it yet, but it's
Good.
fabrication is well underway.
I have a generic question. Do we have a picture of Edward Eller? Like from an old yearbook or? Okay, that's a research project.
Yes, yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Maybe the family could provide one if there's not one in the
Yes.
yearbooks.
I think the library would have as well. They have.
Yeah, we do have a pretty good archive of older yearbooks.
Yeah.
Trustee Warner,
Yes.
just thinking of the timing of the
I'll
field,
have the guys.
track field being completed. Not that we want to get ahead of ourselves, but I know you're probably going, I don't know who's in charge. But I'll just say that whoever would liaise with Dr. Chisholm on the dates, I'll just throw two out there. One would be June 9th, which is the district-wide Summer Night of Fun celebration.
So have a ribbon cutting at the Summer of Fun.
Or
Or to
your
start-
CEC
starting
meeting
off,
is
yeah.
scheduled for Monday, June 15th, just because June is chock full of
Busy.
stuff, and I'm just gonna throw those out there as ideas. Anticipating that things actually get finished by then, but also because I imagine Dr. Chisholm or whoever would need to be in touch with the family ahead of time so they can plan their travel. It might be too early to set a date, but I just want to throw it out there.
Okay.
Then before you move on to the mansion, since we're on the high school, two things. Water fountain in this building at the entrance has been out of service for at least 9 months. Is that because it needs filters, or is it just, why isn't that working?
I think that there's a problem with one of the boards.
A board?
There's electrical controls.
Oh.
Sometimes it'll work, a certain sensor, it'll work, and then the sensor gets dirty or malfunctions for one reason or another.
Okay, and then, so that leaves me, I remember last year there were issues with water fountains at Bailey. I don't know about the other buildings. Have we
Typically,
changed our filters before
yeah,
school started?
typically it's just,
done
the filter will say, it's yellow, it's still safe to use, and the guys change them. The newer filters are smaller, they don't seem to last for several months like the original
I
filters.
don't think that's new last.
Right. Okay, and then my other question, this building was, we're here at the Commons. If I'm walking out that way, there's a door on the left, doesn't latch closed. Are we aware of that?
I saw that, one of them was adjusted yesterday, the door on the left by the
Or
security.
someone probably saw me messing around with it. Yes, the one.
I did walk through that one today and I checked it this morning and it was latching.
Okay.
We do our maintenance people are
Yeah,
constantly
no, I know,
adjusting.
Mr. Bonnie is super, okay, thank you.
Matches now. Okay, good. I'm
So you
glad.
snooping around?
Okay.
I was here for another reason.
Okay, mansion, we trimmed some bushes around the south side of the mansion, broken window remains around the old pool entrance, caused by settling. We still need the retaining wall. Still trying to get some quotes for restoring the plaque commemorating the performance of the first American ballet. Temporary certificate of occupancy was issued. Teacher center, no new activity.
I have a question.
Yes.
When a window like that is broken, there's no like Band-Aid repair?
It's like a a crack, it's not like a typical
It's
window,
not a
it's a
break.
It's
special
so
arch
long.
window, and it's,
It's not a break like an open.
we've made sure that everything's closed up, so no animals could come in or.
Okay, yeah, well, I was thinking too about heating, cause that building is not, it's being heated.
We haven't had the heat on yet, we typically just keep it on when it's really below freezing and we
Right.
throttle it down to see if we try to keep the
Okay.
space as cool as possible without freezing.
Right, cause there's still piping.
Correct. Bus garage,
I think that's what.
Sean, you wanna tell us about it?
okay,
So we're just gonna talk a little bit about the zero emissions and what's out there right now, because obviously in 2 years, things could change again. But basically, right now, what's happening is July 1st of 2027, every district can only purchase or lease new electric buses. And the parts can only be manufactured in the US and also the charging infrastructures. That's what's out there currently. And also July 1st of 2035, all buses must be electric. Some other dates I'll just throw out there. Any bus sales after January 1st of 26, which this would only apply to companies selling electric buses, must provide independent range verification. So what is going to be coming in within the next month probably is a 2-year extension from SED, NYSERDA, and NYSERDA. And basically what that's going to mean is if we apply for the 2-year extension, then the date would move to July 1st of 29 before we would actually be locked into having to only purchase electric buses. And from what I've recently found out from our director of transportation is that Royal Coach, who we currently have our transportation contract with, has within the last couple of years, they updated all of their buses. So we're not in a position right now where we really have to worry about purchasing new buses within the next few years.
Let me just clarify for
Yes.
the public. The district does not purchase buses directly because we do not own our buses. We currently contract our transportation through another vendor. We're talking about any vendor with whom we contract, whether it's our current
Correct.
vendor or a different vendor. These requirements apply to them. Any buses they purchase after these dates would be applicable to these.
And the Commissioner of
rules. So just be
Education.
very clear.
And the Commissioner of Education can declare our contract null and void if the contractor violates these terms.
Correct. So any new contract we do has to include these terms. And when we go for bid or when new contracts are negotiated, these costs that they incur would probably be passed along to us as the contracting party. So I just wanted to be very clear
That
on
is correct.
Yep.
all of that. What you're saying is absolutely correct.
Yes.
but People are gonna be like, we don't buy our buses.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So we do contract our buses. The one major thing that we need to think about for the future is that EV charging. They spoke a lot about it in the training that I went to. It has relatively large power requirements. So basically what that would mean for us is that we would probably have to upgrade our transformers when it gets to that point. There were a lot of districts there. They were talking about the different grants that they got or different things through NYSERDA. So districts who own their own fleet are eligible for things that that we are not eligible for, and it's because we don't own our own fleet, because we contract out. So there's a lot of things to think about, and I know a couple years down the road and again, things could totally change. They may extend it again. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping it would maybe go away. I don't know if that will ever happen, but right now, the plan, I think for us, or my recommendation would be that we fill out the 2-year waiver. It hasn't been released yet. It's supposed to be released by December 31st of 25. And I would imagine, NYSERDA had mentioned that there probably will be requirements for us to get approved for that waiver. We just don't know what they are yet until they actually release the waiver.
So do we have to perform an electrification study?
I won't know. I can't
You won't
answer
know.
that
You'll
until
know
the
December
waiver is
31st.
released.
Okay.
I mean, basically what they said is, they didn't specifically say we would have to do the electrification study. They said we would have to show justification for why we want the 2-year delay. So, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Are we looking and saying we're gonna have to acquire our own buses in the future? Or
I'm not
will we
saying that.
continue to use the contractor and they'll come up with the buses?
I don't think I'm prepared to make that decision today, but,
Okay.
you know, owning your own fleet is costly,
Yeah,
it's very
we used to.
costly,
We used to.
right?
Yeah.
So obviously you know the difference and, I don't know, that's something we have to consider. I mean, electric buses cost a lot more money than your regular buses,
Right.
so. But again, if we're with a contractor, their increased cost is gonna be passed on to us. We're gonna have increased costs. We
Okay,
don't know what
so
the future holds.
you have to crunch some numbers.
Yeah, and transportation is a large part of our budget.
It is.
So.
Okay.
I think Chris had, Trustee Valen has a question.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna keep chiming in on this. We've said this 5 billion times, we're gonna continue our advocacy efforts to have the delay, because there's districts who have some set of problems, other districts have other sets of problems, but we all are having issues
Yeah.
making this a reality, so we're all kind of advocating for delays until some of these problems get resolved. If anyone wants more information, we'll happily provide more, but I wanna say two more things. I think we need to apply for the delay. I think I'd like to hear, Trustee Warner, I know you were at a conference recently and you went to a couple sessions on EV, schools that had converted to EVs, and I know at least one thing you shared with me was there are some advocacy efforts to possibly have communal charging stations at certain facilities, which is another thing we've been
Yes.
advocating for.
Yes, so.
Would you
so
like to
then
speak to that?
If you could perhaps have a facility that where all the charging stations are, somehow associated with Southern Westchester BOCES.
Or a town or a county.
Yes.
Things we
So then
talked
you
about.
make one charging center and you bring power to that one charging center as opposed to, you know, Elmsford has to have a charging center and Greenburgh has to have a charging center and so on. And so you could maybe, you know, go after a consortium, right? Or a COSA, right? So that you would say, here's my reason for delaying, that I'm working out the details of trying to get together a charging center.
Yeah, and this, again, that's stuff we've been advocating for, but it's good to hear that there are many more districts even outside our immediate area doing the same kind of advocacy.
And the other thing that I want to investigate is what lithium iron, IRON.
I'd never heard of that till you said it.
So there's a form of technology that is less volatile than lithium ion technology. So there's a problem. You have to park the buses in a mixed fleet of diesel and electric buses. You have to park the electric buses separate from the diesel fleet because the most dangerous time is when you're charging them. And so there have been incidents in which the charging stations have set off the unstable battery.
And if we have fuel out there.
And if you fuel out
it's not
there,
a good place to
then
put a
it's not, you
charging
lose your whole
station.
fleet.
It's just a big mess.
Right next to the BOCES campus.
Yes.
There are charging stations already installed on the campus of WCC.
Okay.
But not a lot, maybe 4. And
There's land out there, isn't there?
they have 219 acres.
Yeah.
They have, I don't think they have too many electric vehicles, though they have some. But they install, I never see the charging stations being used. But since you talked about a consolidating resources just to keep in mind the wrap up.
Okay.
I'm not sure that those are enough to charge a bus, though. We'd have to find, like, a car.
They have big trucks.
I'm not sure, I don't know
Okay.
how much about electric vehicles. But my question would be, when they talked about these sharing services through the chargers, is there currently any districts doing it?
I went to 2 seminars. One seminar was a district that is doing it. That is actually successfully, they managed to stack different aids from different, federal and state, and they managed to get enough charging facilities together to get several buses.
Right.
And there's a grant that will cover up to 10 buses, and so they're doing it, a little at a time.
Right. That's what most
and
people
so-
are doing.
And of course, you had all the people who were worried because the model wouldn't work for their bus routes, right? Because there are people upstate who are have long bus routes, and you can refuel and your diesel bus in a short period of time, but you have to spend several hours recharging your electric bus. And so if you have a snow day or early dismissal due to snow, you can't bring the kids home because the bus isn't charged yet, okay? So there are all sorts of, and then.
Or in our case, if we have one bus that runs
Multiple, yeah.
four routes in a day,
Logistically, it's
if
too
not.
many miles
Right.
Yes,
per
a lot.
charging time.
Right.
It's another
And then my
concern.
question would be, if we're sharing chargers with other districts, we're all gonna be looking to charge at the same time, which is outside of our run times, right? And so I would imagine.
You gotta have a big center.
Right, that's what I'm saying, like, where's the cost savings?
So step one would be identify in our region who has their own fleet and who does not.
Yes.
The ones that do not would be our focus group, that's not the right word, but our group.
Right. Our
And then-
partners.
Our partners, and then, because we've all been advocating
No, I think it's great to
unofficially,
share
officially,
costs.
but not as these are the districts that need to look for other options. So maybe we need to formally identify that group and then go forward with these next questions.
I think it would be great to share services with, to cut the costs, but I have to think to myself, the only way that you're saving money is if you have more buses than you have charging stations, right? But how's that gonna work if we're all looking to charge at the same time?
We're not
And-
building the infrastructure, and our vendors would just have a different place to go to charge.
The problem.
It would be one
The problem is
spot.
if we can't afford the initial investment to make a charging station for, right.
Right. And if you're just saying that the aid that's available doesn't apply to people who don't own their own fleet, that aid could possibly be applied for by our vendor, but then they're locating it on our campus, they'll wanna retain, it gets messy.
It's crazy, and we also
So-
don't know with the cold weather, how long the batteries, there's a lot of unknowns.
Right, and the district that was successful said, we don't have data over the winter because the battery's only at 70%
Right.
of its charge because it's cold, okay, so.
There's so many.
Do we-
We may have fuel cell here in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, we never
I
know.
think totally different
Yeah,
technology, hydrogen, because it solves a lot of problems with EVs.
And we're also advocating, can we go with the hybrid model instead of just fully EV to alleviate some of the other issues? There's tons of issues. Some of the garages aren't big enough because they're bigger vehicles in general, there's training of the maintenance staff, there's just so many
The
things.
buses are heavy, so some of the bridges and on some of the
Bridges have
smaller.
to be redone because you've got all this weight.
Yeah. The bridge collapses because your school bus is too heavy. Okay,
Any bridge,
any bridge.
any bridges, you're dealing with electrical vehicles.
Oh, the electrical vehicles, well, it's heavier.
Yes,
Very
because
Got
of
it,
the
got it,
weight of the
got it.
battery.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm just following several
so
conversations.
stay tuned. This is an ongoing issue.
It is ongoing. I'm hoping, I don't know what our date is for next month, but maybe the waiver will be, available by that point. We can discuss it then.
And if not, then in January.
Because we're
Okay,
looking
They
at
said
what
December
justification
31st.
they have.
Yep.
Right, that's the thing, we need to figure out what justification you're gonna put.
right. Okay, good. Teacher Center?
Teacher Center had nothing to report.
Okay, bus garage, we just did. Mansion aid. At the 618 Facilities Committee meeting, John Rappaport of Component Assembly Systems presented a proposal for reopening the mansion. Strategy was based on wealthy corporate donors. He believed would finance the project. He aimed for a $20 million project, depending on the donor's willingness. He proposed to do the construction through Component Assembly Systems and the HVAC contractors, and to donate the work to the district. He requested a letter of support from the district and cited previous work on the original construction of the press box as legal precedent for what he wants to do. So our press box was actually built by a donation. The Facilities Committee recommended that we proceed with caution. The district should draft a letter of support, provided that, 1, our legal firm verifies the legality of this method of project completion, since it appears to bypass the usual RFP bid process. 2, we have a clear path for MISCD approval of the plans. 3, the project includes ventilation and ADA compliance components. 4, the instructional areas for storage should be for secondary students with appropriate bathrooms. 5, the packet of materials describing the project is revised to include an executive summary of the project, identify project components, eliminate duplicate materials, and clean up references in the history section. And 7, our legal firm verifies the language of the letter of support. Legal responded to this. We took it to the board. Legal responded by requesting that any potential donors make donations directly to the school district. Any construction firm could then compete for the job using the bid RFP process. Yes. Okay. A community member indicated that the target organization is now concentrating on science donations, not mansions. Okay. So our next step is to draft letters to be sent directly to the donor and to have language approved by legal. So that's you do a letter for science donations, and we've been doing lots of letters for science donations. We just haven't gotten the response. So I sent you guys a copy of that letter that the previous administration had, and the second one is, of course, to write a letter for the mansion, just in case. And I need to provide you with historical information on the mansion. I have a lot of it. So that's where we're at. Any questions? No.
So you're
Okay.
saying,
Yeah.
just wanna recap. So you're saying that the district, the admin is going to send these letters?
Yes, and with legal approval.
But this is also, so this is the facilities committee recommendation, this is not me, it's what.
This is what we recommended.
Right.
Then we went to the board, and our legal said, hey, we better do it like this. So I'm going with the legal recommendation. Yeah, okay. Yes.
So, the grid that you have where it says letter sent February 2025.
Mm-hmm.
When are we looking to send out another letter? Like, are we looking to, is our target February, or are we looking before that?
So
usually we would do
as
it.
soon as possible.
Yeah, as soon as possible within, in a given month. So
these are just the history of letters that were sent and to whom.
Yes.
For the science project, but, so he's just giving me that history, but he'd want you guys to update it, and get it approved by legal, and now send out in accordance with what, I guess, Rappaport, the company, whatever. Company he identified, Zuckerberg something, yeah, whatever he identified.
Foundation.
Which is not
Do you know
here.
if we got a response on any of these letters?
We have not.
No.
Oh, we have not,
So,
okay.
so
I'm just looking for.
what seems to happen is you need to have a contact.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so the rest of the packet is a set of minutes. Want to bring those minutes up?
It's already, it's almost 9:30, you wanna?
Yes, I want to adopt these minutes. I want to adjourn, unless somebody has some burning issue that they want to bring up. Okay. All right, so look at the attendance, see if anybody's name's misspelled. Jessica?
I just have a quick comment before we get to that. I don't know if everybody was aware or saw the news about the fire up at UMass Amherst that happened, and just to kind of comment that I know our work is not always like super fun and sometimes it's under the ground, but this is why we really push to do the water mains. We need the water pressure. Their fire got so out of hand because they didn't have correct water pressure. So just when we're going through all this stuff over and over and seeing money go underground and not always hoping that we never have to use it, putting back that like very clearly, I was like, thank God we are doing this. Because we saw, like, you could see what happened up there, and we don't want that ever happening to any of our buildings. So that was my last comment.
Thank you. I know that several buildings that are historic portions of the Warburg campus have burned down over the course of the years. So yes, fires are real. Okay. Yes.
Okay, one more comment.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, or a question, actually. For some reason, I've always forgotten to bring this up when I'm here, or maybe, but recently thought of it. Please, you know the Wise Trail, and then there's a tower on the left.
Yes.
Whatever kind of tower. Have we considered boarding that up or building it off? There's like
Boarding it up.
opening.
There's like a.
Opening and kids, people, anyone.
Don't know even how you would board that up. It's like an opening, it's like a grotto. I know you would probably have to anchor something into the stone. I don't even know how you would, because it's not, it's round, it's.
Yeah, it's like a archway, I think.
You probably have to put I don't know, some type of wire gate. I don't even know how you would try to secure it. I mean, I've climbed in there myself. It's just dirt. It's just.
I know, but we're a campus of adolescents whose prefrontal cortex has not been.
Yeah, there's
and I'm just concerned that people could get hurt. I'm sure kids have been in there. I'm sure they're doing things. I mean, they're already doing things in the woods they're not supposed to be doing. And then to have that tower, I'm just thinking we should put our heads together about how to secure it. I mean,
That's not a bad idea. I haven't seen
YouTube, but like Disney, I mean, isn't that a
I've seen the
liability?
tower.
Yeah, so is
It's
there?
the old water tower.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe we
So
could, maybe
there's
I
a
have
water
the fencing
for the-
contractor come out and see if he could mount something up to fence it over the open area. I don't know.
Fill it with rocks. Okay. Okay.
Can I move to accept the minutes?
Let's page through them.
Okay.
All right, so did anybody find any names that were misspelled? Okay. Start paging through.
I'll just say it, but I'm not sure.
Where?
Yasmin Ramirez, normally
Is
that's
it
part
A?
A, but I don't know, maybe she does do an E, but I've never seen it
Oh,
with an E.
Ramirez.
Yeah. I've never seen it with an E, but it was still given to me with an E. Okay. Okay, so I'll check with somebody. Okay,
It is usually
Renee. Okay. Then, tennis courts, facilities project. We have, there's the status report. Last time. And smaller projects. Do I hear a motion to adopt these minutes as amended?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we have minutes. Other concerns? The floor is open. Anybody?
When you schedule your next meeting, is it, do it as you go along or is it?
It'll be next month. I have a schedule for the.
Okay.
for the, so let's see.
December.
The next meeting of the Facilities Committee is December 11th at 6:30 PM, right here.
All are welcome.
Yes. So I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved, second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It is now 9:25. Wow. Thanks for your patience.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.